am the final Yab. I will be the final Yab. I will end VTubing.
Hello there, chat. How are you guys doing on this day where we take a look at one of the biggest and probably the tiniest shit shows that you ever encountered in the world of VTubing corporations? Because it was very small, but it wasn't insignificant to the fans of it, because they had to be witness to this for several years, where you thought that this thing was over, but it wasn't, because disgruntled people have to come out every single time to make sure that the talents of the former VTuber corporation known as CyberLive and later on Aetheria aren't doing too well. And if I actually bothered, and if I bothered very carefully, I could probably find something wrong with each and every single one of them, because it's just a whole amalgamation. You could even call it a storm in a teacup of interpersonal drama that just boiled over in every single instance possible. But before we get to the juicy parts of all of this, let me put some music on. And since today we're dealing with very unhinged stuff, like it's gonna get pretty serious, but it's also gonna get pretty funny. So I need something fitting for that. And I had it set up here. Like I think this is gonna work, but I need to set it like in a proper volume too. You cannot go wrong with the Blue Archive theme of the very snowy school. I love that one so much. It really shows how bad communism is. Great parody, by the way. Go check it out too. So yeah, that's the theme that we're going to have going for today. And as with every stream that I do, we're going to be taking a look at a few arcs that are going to be happening in this particular stream. All of this, everything that had to do with CyberLive and what was behind it, happened over the span of like 2 years, but it was later brought up like in later years, both in 2003, I mean both in 2023 and 2024, because it's just never ending with this company and the people in it. And you're probably wondering, why the hell did I include Lumi at the beginning of this? Well, because Lumi is a very central figure to all of this. And it's gonna be very crazy, and a small disclaimer, by the way, about every single one of the talents that are gonna be involved here. Do understand that we're gonna be talking about a lot of rats, a lot of narratives that people have spun about this company over the years and about the people in there. So whatever is mentioned here is not definitive in a lot of ways, because there's a lot of people involved, not only the talents themselves, but also the mods that were behind these specific talents. There's managers involved, there's managerial shifts involved here and there, there's like interpersonal drama between the talents too. And a lot of this is very vague, and I'm quite sure that people that were involved in it know the full story. I only know the bits and pieces. If I was on the Discord of CyberLive, and I don't usually do that, I don't usually frequent Discords of many VTubers, I'm very selective about that. But I'm quite sure if I was there during the time that everything happened, I would know a lot more. So a lot of this information is kind of incomplete, so I have to apologize for that. And another preface, I do not hold any animosity towards any VTuber mentioned here, despite a lot of them having me blocked because I dared to cover some of the drama here. I also won't be mentioning which one of them which ones have me blocked or anything like that, because that's not relevant. Because anyone can block me for any reason, and I can just speculate what it is. But I have my theories, and I'm going to be talking about these theories too, because they're interesting. And there's going to be a lot of people involved in this, as I was saying at the beginning. So you better follow all of this carefully, because it's going to get very complicated. And there's going to be timelines, there's going to be webs of relationships here and there that are going to be talked about. There's going to be those narratives that I mentioned as well. There's going to be a lot of stuff, so be prepared for a lot of stuff. And again, I have prepared a few arcs to this story, because you know, a good story needs plot arcs, and CyberLive and later on Aetheria certainly has those. So first of all, what I want to introduce you to is the beginning, meaning I will tell you what CyberLive and Aetheria was. What was before CyberLive, because CyberLive's history doesn't actually start with CyberLive itself, but with a different kind of group, which about which we're going to be talking about as well. So we'll briefly go through the history of CyberLive and Aetheria, who was in it, what talents were involved, what managerial stuff was involved. Later on, I'm going to mention a few moderators here and there, because they become kind of important to the story. And that's going to be the first arc. The second arc is the Unity transfer, which is pretty much the beginning of what was later on CyberLive. We're going to be taking a look at that. It's going to be very brief, but it's very important to mention. Then we have the history, a very brief history of manager and VTuber called Sato Misaki. I'm not going to spoil you on that one just yet, but this is pretty much where people started to see the cracks forming in CyberLive publicly. And you could kind of argue that this is where everything started in terms of like public perception of CyberLive is involved, because things before Sato Misaki's eventual termination have been happening for a very long time. But this is probably one of the first times that the public got to know what was happening inside of CyberLive, and it wasn't very good, as you can probably predict by now. Going forward, we're going to be talking about the brief history of Vera V, another VTuber that later got turned into managerial staff for CyberLive. And she has a very storied history, to say the least, because there's some cheating involved of the relationship kind here. It's not very pretty, I can tell you that much. We're gonna go briefly through that. Then we're gonna go into a person that kind of got involved almost by accident when it comes to CyberLive. We're gonna be talking about the independent VTuber called Terumi Koizumi, who briefly got involved with CyberLive as she kind of... I don't know how to describe this, because this is like a theory of mine at this point. I do believe Terumi actually mentioning CyberLive at some point was due to a Menhera attack. Due to a little bit of paranoia here and there, but again, that's my theory, and we'll go into that in detail as we go through this arc, because Terumi mentions CyberLive in a few instances that I believe are important to mention to give you guys the whole history of what was going on behind the scenes. You have to understand that all of this is very fragmented, as a lot of that stuff is simply not visible to the public. And again, only the talents themselves that were actually in the company know what happened behind the scenes and could give you the full story. And even then, when they have revealed some parts of the story, it's hard to believe whether it's true or not, because it's their word against others' words. So again, it's all a very huge mess. So at the end of all of this, at the end of the stream, you guys will have to come up to your own conclusions to all of this. I'm only presenting the information as I have found it, and as I interpret it. Again, my interpretation could be completely wrong, could be completely off about all of this, but it is what it is. This is just something that I found interesting, and it's a very good study about what not to do within a VTuber agency and how not to handle backlash or just criticism in regards to talents and company in general. So after we go through Terumi's arc, we're gonna go through the April Fool's incident. Something that happened with Kaneko Lumi. What was it? April 1st, 2023. As Lumi, as a joke, decided to use the models of previous CyberLive talents on a stream just as a joke. And that didn't go over very well, and it started its own small drama. I believe that's very important to mention in the story as well. There's bits and pieces there, of course, as I was saying, but we're gonna be puzzling all of this through. It's gonna be interesting, to say the least. Next, we're gonna go for a brief mention of Hilo, another CyberLive VTuber, and I'll be talking briefly about her history of defending CyberLive and herself, and generally on 4chan's VT, which is also an interesting aspect of all of this. That someone would bother to actually go to that schizo den and try to defend their good name and the name of the good company, which is in my mind a very big mistake, because the anonymous nature of 4chan allows narratives and allows falsehoods to be spun in every single way. And once these people know that you're browsing the boards, they can impersonate, they can spun their own stories about you, and even the talents themselves can kind of skinwalk as anonymous users in order to defend themselves without doing anything like that. But Hilo took a very different approach to this and decided to defend everything very publicly. So we'll go through a little bit of that, and we're going to be talking about what those defenses actually were, because those are interesting as well. It's a very brief thing, but it's pretty eye-opening as well. I know it's already being overwhelming. There's so much information to go through, but again, you have to understand that a lot of things can happen in the span of like 2 years, just 2 years. And I'll also be going about the perception of CyberLive as it was before all the drama started, because CyberLive had a very good standing within the VTuber community, and especially on VT. CyberLive was that up-and-coming VTuber agency, along with Face Connect, Aetheria, and some other smaller VTuber agencies like Prism Project and stuff like that. There was a lot of that, and CyberLive was an up-and-comer. Sometimes they were talked about in a positive light, in as much as Face Connect, but as we all know what happened to CyberLive and what happened to Aetheria, it all went down the drain pretty fast. So after Hilo, we're gonna look through another VTuber from CyberLive called Mozara Seina. And this one is something that a lot of people have missed. Even the people that were involved in all kinds of CyberLive drama, they even could have missed this one, because this was just kind of outside of everyone's perception at the time. A lot of the Spanish-speaking community was involved in that. Spanish-speaking VTuber fans were involved in this. And this is another interpersonal drama between... I would say I'm not sure if this person was her more than anything or was her friend, but there was a lot of manipulation involved in this story. There's threats of suicide, there's cheating, there's emotional manipulation. So, you know, all of that quote unquote good stuff that involves a very good personal drama between two people or more. So we're gonna be looking through that one too. A real shit show, that one, especially the aftermath of it. And even I wasn't aware of that one until recently. But you know, doing research just gets you in in those avenues as well. So it is what it is. Once more. After that, pretty much one of the last parts of the stream, we're gonna be talking through the latest things that were happening with another CyberLive VTuber called Omiya Emma, and her alleged manipulation of her mods, as she was allegedly cheating on her husband. It's another one of these stories, and you may be asking yourself, how is that possible that there's so many weird people within this one single agency? I don't know, happenstance, a set of unfortunate circumstances. I don't know. It's just everything aligned. Everything in the sky aligned to make sure that you know that something bad is happening within that agency. And again, the story of Emma's alleged cheating happened, you know, in the past, but it was only revealed on June 10th, 2024 to the general public, because this keeps happening. Like, you have to understand that whenever one of the former CyberLive VTubers is doing well for themselves in some capacity, someone from their past has to come out and kind of, you know, shit on them wholesale. Make sure to piss in their cornflakes, because otherwise, you know, they aren't allowed to have successful careers. And a lot of them have gone on to do a lot of different stuff. Some of them have disappeared. Some of them attempted to come back and then just disappeared again. I'm not going to be mentioning any of their new lives, most likely. So you'll have to figure it out on yourself, by yourselves. But if you were fans of CyberLive and the VTubers within it, you probably already know their new identities anyway. So I don't have to tell you any of that, but you know, it's still something worth mentioning. On the outside of the things, which is kind of beyond the chronology of all of this, is a story of a very schizophrenic former CyberLive mod who doxed VTubers for fun. And we'll go through his story as well. We're gonna be looking through miscellaneous 4chan VT screenshots as well. And again, be worried of the fact that these are narratives. A lot of these are unproven, and they can only be corroborated by the talents within from the former CyberLive and Aetheria on their own. So be aware of that. And to round it off, we're also going to be taking a look at some narratives that people were talking about in regards to Lumi, because Lumi is a very central character to most of these stories here, and Lumi has been painted as a very, very big villain to almost every single character involved in this story. But you know, to spoil you on some facts, a lot of people have not produced many good evidence to secure their claims on that one. So you just have to know that the allegations exist, but whether there's real proof of any misdeeds, I'm on the fence on that one. I haven't seen much, and this is not in defense of anyone here. This is not to condemn anyone, because I don't have enough information. I cannot do that without, you know, something more concrete than that. So I'll just leave it at that, that it's all up in the air and you'll have to make up your own conclusions again. So that's going to be the stream. So let's start with that. So let's start with a brief introduction of what CyberLive and later on Aetheria actually was. So let me get my trusty screenshots up and then we can start talking about it. I'll be interjecting throughout reading some of that stuff, because there's additional information sometimes that's worthy of outlining to you, so you get more context on everything, because there's a lot of missing context that you guys will just have to know. So just let me dig up all of these screenshots and then we can start. So just give me a moment. And again, I'm quite sure that there are people out there, especially the ones that were involved much closer within CyberLive, like on their Discord. I'm sure these people know a lot more than that, but they haven't come out publicly with it. A lot of them have threatened to do that, but over the years it was just like kind of trickled down to you. So it's, again, not very complete. It's all very fragmented. So a very small intro onto what CyberLive and Aetheria actually was from the trusty virtual YouTuber wiki. So Aetheria was an independent VTuber group. Previously, CyberLive, a virtual entertainment company operating in the United States. Here's the whole timeline of it. We're also going to go briefly through that, so you know where the dates align. All starting within 2021. On 14th July, CyberLive announced the first generation debut. On the 28th July, CyberLive manager Sato Misaki announced some problems with YouTube, so their talents will be using Twitch as a secondary site. On the 24th of August, CyberLive announced auditions for Generation 2. On 13th of October, CyberLive announced Amari's Yuri birthday party that would be held on the 20. That's not how you spell 23rd. But whatever. that's really not how you spell 23rd. On the 14th October, CyberLive Sato Misaki announced her upcoming debut on the 24th as a manager VTuber. On the 15th of November, CyberLive Twitter account uploaded a video teaser to announce their new generation. Second generation, the second video on the 29th of November. On the 2nd of December, CyberLive Twitter account uploaded the third teaser video revealing the second generation. Second generation, also known as Cyber Alter, consists of 5 members: Omiya Emma, Inami Yoki, Alchemelia Menace, Kurohana Inori, and Iekushi Chapipi. After the announcement, each of them made their first tweet. And all of the links to that are also available there. And moving on, 2022, and the emergence of Aetheria. On the 6th May, CyberLive issued a press release document announcing that it will go through major rebranding, transitioning from a company to an independent VTubing group, as well as renaming itself to Aetheria. All talents and content will remain the same aside from CyberLive brand affiliation. The change will be fully effective starting 13th May. On 11th of May, CyberLive held the last stream of all members under the name CyberLive. On the 12th May, CyberLive officially rebranded as Aetheria. As said during the previous collaboration stream, all first generation and second generation members would become a single group. The generation concept will no longer be used. On the 29th of October, Aetheria officially disbanded. As a result, all existing talents have become independent VTubers. And of course, the wiki doesn't mention any of the drama that was happening there. Doesn't mention Sato Misaki's termination as well, which is, I think, very important. So I'm not quite sure why it's not included within the wiki, but I guess people just haven't been paying attention that well. And it is what it is. And here's the roster. Here's the roster of all the members, as well as the staffers within CyberLive and later on Aetheria. Aetheria consisting members of the first generation CyberFable and second generation CyberAlter. Here's Vera V, Mozora Seina, Utano Pandora, Omiema, Inamioki, Alchemilia Menace, Yakushi Chapipi, and then purely CyberLive talents, Ayana Hilo, Kurohana Inori, Amari Syuri, and of course Kaneko Lumi. And the infamous staffer known as Sato Misaki. So there you have it. When we're going to be talking about Vera V, I'll also have to mention that the link here under Vera V's name links to a very familiar account, and you'll see it later once I get to the Vera V portion, because that's very funny to me where this fucking link actually goes from Vera V's personal profile here on this website. But yeah, this is your brief introduction, very bare bones introduction to what Aetheria and CyberLive was, without mentioning all of the problems and all of the drama, because all of that is just, I guess, not relevant enough to the wiki. But I wish they would at least include Sato Misaki's firing, because that's one of the major events within all of that. Let me just get the next portion ready, and we're gonna be talking about. We're gonna be talking about. Hold up, what's next on my list actually? We're gonna be talking about the Unity transfer. So essentially, what was before CyberLive, because that's important. That's very important to the overall understanding of what CyberLife was behind the scenes, and later on what Aetheria has become. Let me get that up real quick, and just give me a moment, just like a minute or so, maybe even less. Right, got it. Just a moment. Okay, there it is. And the Unity transfer was something that wasn't actually discussed publicly on CyberLive's official accounts. A lot of that was discussed on 4chan as people started to notice CyberLive's first generation during July of 2021, and people started talking about it. Of course, VT was right on it, and here's the discussion that they had when the first talents of CyberLive were actually revealed. Are you watching the reveals, Anon? Probably not. Debut are always boring, so I'll wait for some real stream. I'll be watching, but I really just hope we don't have to wait too long after this for the actual debuts. If they get 1k views is already too much. I'm watching, let's do this. Holy shit, the music is really good. So people were very excited. VT was very excited about CyberLive's debuting the talents. The production values on the video were very good. CyberLive's official YouTube channel, I believe, is still up, so you can go actually watch a few of these videos up there. I'm not quite sure if it's gonna stay like that forever, so I'm quite sure a lot of that is already archived. But if you guys want to check out these promotional videos, they're still up and available for viewing. And as CyberLive was, debuting their talents, as they were previewing the talents, people, of course, started to come up with theories, with tea, so to speak, about what CyberLive was in the past. So here's one of these posts, and again, take a lot of this as alleged information. Not everything here has to be, factual, but it has been corroborated by some other people as well. So, there may be nuggets of truth within all of this. Again, you'll have to make up your own mind. So here's that Unity tea that I was talking about. Coming in with a bit of tea regarding Unity transfer to CyberLive. So hold on to your seats. Sources from a friend who was one of the Unity talents. For their privacy, I'm going to be keeping their identities private. Basically, a lot of the Unity talents were scouted. Some girls had pre-made models, the ones that auditioned for Unity, but the rest got to make their own. Everything seemed fine until they found out the manager, the person behind the manager character, was a minor who was dating the guy who funded it, who was definitely not a minor. They withheld that info from the talents, who were also a bit disturbed to be getting bossed around by a 17-year-old. LOL. All the talent expressed wanting to quit because 1. They didn't want to work with a minor who had lied about her age. 2. They didn't want to work with a guy who owned the company because he was dating a minor. And 3. Despite quite a few getting to quote-unquote design their characters, a lot of the assets came out of really horribly, and the manager just kind of did whatever she wanted / ignored talent wishes. She literally wouldn't let them handle any of their assets. After they all quit, most of the girls offered to buy their characters since they designed them. If they could afford, but later changed their minds because it was pretty ruined at that point, I think, they gave him permission to sell and such with proper credits or recast if he kept Unity going. After that, the guy running the company threatened to sue them all for not buying their models, saying that according to their contract, they owed him for the model plus asset costs and 1 year of what their earnings would have been. There was no such clause anywhere in the contract. He eventually stopped and just sold everything, saying him and his minor girlfriend had nothing to do with the project anymore and sold off all the assets. Also, worst part is, I'm pretty sure one of the old talents designed Hilo and didn't get any credit because manager San is petty, LMAO. I saw a few things that rolled over from Unity. I remember my friend who would show me stuff and do the whole hashtag Hilo supremacy, so that was something they came up with. That I'm pretty sure the girl who is the manager is still the previous manager from Unity. Don't know for sure though. Nothing against the current talents. Pretty sure they have no idea about any of this, but management is probably the same awful management from Unity. So yeah, you can already tell this is not off to a very good start. If a lot of that stuff is to be believed, but you know, there's a lot of information that's very detailed, and it's kind of hard to make detailed lies like this. But people have done that previously, so who knows? But let's go on with the story. And then there's more people talking about this during the same day in the same thread too. Are they the same person, same friending or not? I don't know. But here's what they say. Can also vouch. The whole thing seemed too good to be true back then. And it still sounds too good to be true now. So I'm sure the 17-year-old is still the manager. The entire company was under her control, and at one point the entire company was almost destroyed because she stole the asset back from the talents, leaving them with absolutely nothing. And basically ripped the rug from under them because she had a temporary breakup with her sugar daddy that was funding the project. I can also vouch for this shitfest. A friend of an ex-talent, been holding my tongue on their behalf, but CyberLive is using their old talents' work and concepts from Unity. Weird how suddenly all of these friends of Unity talents are showing up. And on 4chan of all places. Meds, please, all of you. I want TWWH. We all got sent the link to the board. Been holding our tongue this whole time because the talents didn't want to stir up trouble after the owner tried to sue them. Which, you know, is a concern. But coming to defend yourself on 4chan is pretty weird still. Because people can just spin it out of control by just pretending to be someone else and get in the way of the narrative that you are trying to present. It all becomes a huge mess, and finding out what the truth is from the lies and from, you know, made up stuff is exceedingly difficult. Let's continue. Pick related, as referring to this thing right here. Be aware that this is this is July of 2021, and this particular post goes a bit forward into the future, from the 8th of August of the same year. Pick related is the rat about the old talents and underage Misaki, which I already mentioned to you as being the CyberLive VTuber manager. They also had a controversy with the introduction video being a carbon copy of a V-Shoujo introduction video, and I'm pretty sure they also copied Prism at some point. But I lost the picture. To give you a bit of context about that one, there was a small drama involved in the talent introduction for CyberLive's talents. Some people have noticed that it looked very similar in terms of how the frames were set up from V-Shoujo's own video with a similar purpose. So it started its own small drama. I didn't include this within the screenshots because it's less relevant than anything else. But ultimately, nothing came out of that one, and it was just a case of someone trying to stir up shit. Some inspiration may have been taken from that V-Shoujo video, but calling it a copy is a bit stretching, to say the least. But that's your context for the V-Shoujo video thing. They also had Twitch eFoats donation tiers in the description debuts with stuff like $500 Discord date with me and shit like that. When VT called them out for it, they backtracked immediately and did damage control by saying it was only a debut event and stuff, and they were removed. Now, Terumi, chick from Amber Glow, about which we're going to be talking about too, because again, it's an arc in this story. Was gonna have a stream calling out black companies, but before the stream happened, Hilo went full shield mode and became super aggressive about Terumi and even threatening defamation. That's all I've got. And again, a lot of that stuff is gonna be corroborated here as we move on through parts of this story going forward. So, as you can already tell, it's a huge shit show. We have minors being in charge of, partially running the company. We have previous Unity bosses dating said minors and, threatening to sue VTubers because they won't buy their models back and shit like that. So, again, it's a fucking mess. It just kind of boggles the mind how worse this becomes, because this is just the start of it. This is not even the beginning. But yeah, this is the connection to Unity and what it actually was, to give you again more context on that one. Moving on, we're going to be talking about Sato Misaki, which is going to be a very short thing, but still, you already got an introduction to who she apparently was. An apparent minor that is role-playing a VTuber manager, and doing a very bad job at it, as we're gonna see in a moment. As these particular tweets now archived because the account, I think, is either no longer existing or is protected. I haven't checked, but here's CyberLive's own account saying that Sato Misaki has just got the boot from March of 2022. Moving on a few months from 2021 in August, but still, here's the announcement regarding the termination of Sato Misaki, and here's the very kind of blurry termination notice. You're gonna be reading it. Holy announcement regarding changes in CyberLive management. Thank you for your continued support of CyberLive and its talents. This announcement is to inform the public that effective March 31st, 2022, the management contract of Sato Misaki will be terminated. Until this point, Sato Misaki has operated as the head manager of CyberLive, taking point on its day-to-day activities, communications, and operations. However, due to her frequent unplanned absence and inattention to project management, She has neglected her responsibilities to the company in its talents. Many of these duties were shifted to Kaneko Lumi, who was compelled to pick up the work in Sado Misaki's unplanned absences. And what I know about these absences, that they were so frequent that she essentially was almost not existent within the company itself. So the way they describe it is kind of kind to her, I would even say. Unintentionally kind, but still. That's what I know about her not being present to do her job. But continuing on, as a result of this inattention, Sado Misaki has caused the company to suffer reputational financial damage. For these reasons, CyberLive leadership has determined that in its best interest of our company and talent to terminate Sato Misaki's contract. In addition, the Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube accounts of Sato Misaki will be closed within the coming month. We recognize that Sato Misaki has been an integral part of CyberLive since its inception, and that the termination of her contract may bring within its concerns about the company's future, which is not very long, by the way. Spoiler alert. Our leadership would like to take this opportunity to reassure our community that CyberLive has no intention of closure at this time, but at a later time, yes. Now we are anticipating additional graduations of talent. Effective immediately, Vera V will be assuming the responsibilities of the head manager at CyberLive. She will be taking on the responsibilities of Sato Misaki with assistance from Kaneko Lumi prior to her graduation. We request your patience and understanding as we transition all responsibilities to Vera V and continue in the identifying areas affected by previous management. Candidates for additional management positions are currently under consideration and will be contacted within the coming month. To our fans, community, and partners, we sincerely appreciate your support for CyberLive and Sato Misaki until now. We also apologize profusely for the damages caused by the negligence of our company's head of management. We take the management of our company and support of our talent very seriously. CyberLive intends to establish clear, actionable expectations for all current and future management, as well as more substantial transparency with our community where necessary. That's gonna come back in a very bad way. We hope that through our actions we may repair partnership and trust damaged by our previous management. We humbly request your support in these efforts and the continued support of our talent. Thank you. And yeah, that's what it was. And in case you're wondering what happened to Misaki, well, this is her right now. This is Sato Misaki's Twitter account that has what I assume to be AI generated profile picture. And of course, all of the tweets are protected right now. And yeah, there's a few rats coming your way. But first, I'd like to talk a little bit about what happened after Sato Misaki got terminated. And there's not much to this story, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you look at it. Sato Misaki just kind of disappeared off the internet for a bit. In January of this year, yes, this year actually, she returned for like one stream, I believe, and then disappeared again. I don't know what motivated the return and what motivated the disappearance, but that's where her story ends when it comes to public appearances. So for all intents and purposes, she's just gone. The minor at what year was she a minor at? Like 2020 or 2021. So I guess she's much older now. But whatever. She did what she did, and she apparently also dated some adult. So that's what happened with that. But moving back to the past. A few cyber rats, and as I was saying, that the VTuber from CyberLive called Ayana Hilo did a lot of defending of her company and the other talents on 4chan, which is very weird, but it is what it is. So here's a post from 8th of August 2021. called Cyber Rats. Let the rats out, Evans. After they seated the friends in Upperglow thread about Terumi and the Black Company's stream ending up with them being mentioned, then they must be hiding something about their shady as fuck company. There's seriously not a startup company with so many rats and yabs before even debuting members as CyberLive. Lumi's sister, if you're here, just tell us what the fuck happened that made you leave Misaki's first attempt at the company in the first place. You already know that you're one of the old talents. If any old talent is here, tell me everything that went down. I want all the rats. And of course, schizo posters do want that delicious tea. It sustains them. Again, a little bit more context. At some point in 2021, the Terumi, the independent VTuber that I mentioned, which was part of the company called Amber Glow, made a stream about black companies, what defines a black company, and naming examples of companies that she thought was black. And CyberLive was briefly mentioned in there, so that's your context for now. We're gonna get deeper into that as we discuss Terumi. But I included this particular screenshot here because it shows that Hilo actually does go on VT to defend herself, if that screenshot is to believe there. But Hilo has interacted with 4chan before too, so this is not the only instance of that happening. The part here below where it says. Hi, Hilo here. Please stop your stupid bullshit, and if you need proof, it's me. I'm going to tweet, wow, tacos are cool in 2 minutes. My company is fine. And then she apparently tweeted, wow, tacos are cool on Twitter, to confirm that she's actually that person on 4chan's VT. Yes, Hilo has graduated. I don't know what she's doing right now, but her Twitter is unprotected, and she hasn't been active for like a year or so, maybe 2 years at this point. I'm not quite sure about the date, but she's inactive as far as that goes. But yeah, this is this arc of Sato Misaki is very brief, but again worth mentioning because. This is the first public crack that showed within CyberLive's armor. The chink has appeared. No pun intended. Moving on. We're going through this very fast, I know, but again, a lot of fragmented information. This one you're gonna like or hate, depending on your perspective. But this is the story of Vera V. You know, that VTuber that was mentioned beforehand, taking on the responsibilities of a new VTuber manager after Sato Misaki got terminated. So once again, we're moving a little bit into the future. Again, be aware of all of these dates because we're going to be jumping back and forth, and I'll be mentioning when we're doing that consistently to keep you, in the know and not confused. At least not too confused, because I know this is already pretty fucking confusing as it is. So here's a little guy called PrussianBot. PrussianBot is someone that was very close to Vera V. At that point, already a member of Aetheria, because CyberLive rebranded to Aetheria, stopped being a company and just became a VTuber group. And here's him giving his experiences, outlining his history with Vera V. And you better buckle up for this one, because this one is getting fucking juicy. This one is certainly something. So, Mr. PrussianBot on the 28th of October 2022 made this tweet longer about Vera V. My experience with Vera V, Aetheria. My experience with Vera V, Aetheria by PrussianBot. Too long did it read? I secretly dated a manipulative VTuber streamer who happened to be married. She cheated on me and gaslit me along the way. She leaked her former and current groupmates' conversations, DMs, and personal information, some she had clearly taken shared with ill intent. and gave access to her private information slash flirting to fans who donated. I want to start this by saying there will be no docs information included in this write-up. I have no interest in outing who Vera is, and no one else should either. When I ended the relationship with her on the 10/11/2022, I had only part of the picture I have now. I have no interest in revenge or any other desire to do harm to her streaming career. However, I am interested in setting the record straight and keeping this behavior from happening again. Almost all of the things I will reference have screenshots, mostly my own, some of from another person to back it up, and I only heard it vocally. I will try to denote that. The link to Google Slides or relevant screenshots is at the end of this document. If you're an Aetheria talent and want clarification of further proof of leaks, DM me on Discord at DepressionBot, and there's his ID. On Twitter at DepressionBot. Yeah, if you have been through something similar with Vera, you are not alone. I only have permission to share one person's story, but there's more folks out there. Which is concerning, as you can probably tell. Background and context. I started interacting with Vera on stream and in her Discord, The Greenhouse, on the 3rd, 2022. I enjoyed the community that was composed of various fans of CyberLive, the defunct VTuber company, which turned into an indie group Aetheria. Vera was an employee, manager, and eventually head manager of CyberLive at the time. It took very little time for me to form friendship in the Greenhouse, and flirty banter with Vera in public chats and voice call was commonplace. Some weeks after the CyberLive basically fell apart, I want to tell the story here because you can learn about it if you do some googling. Mismanagement, leaks, talents leaving. In the stress of everything that happened, she more or less disappeared and formed a romantic relationship with her fan Sunsetting Zero. She decided to fly out and stay with him at his place for a few weeks. Most of the conversations with her on the topic were in calls, but I have included a screenshot of her referencing her time spent with him after disappearing. She got COVID a while at karaoke with him, sadly. Around this time, Sunsetting Zero was made a channel/Discord mod, and still is in the Aetheria server and for various talents, but not Vera. They ended things, as far as I know, shortly after. Months later, she also flew out to stay with her mod, Rivison, and his wife. Skip ahead for some weeks and her return on 06/03/2022. And Vera DM'd me to thank me for the help in game she was streaming. From there, we exchanged hundreds of messages and pulled a couple all-nighters chatting. Things progressed in a romantic sense right away. We exchanged names and photos and information about our lives. Vera quickly brought up the fact that she was going through a divorce and that she was in the process of splitting up their things and she would understand if I changed my interest in her. It didn't change anything for me, though I was surprised. Sometime later, she mentioned that they were actually still living together after they had an argument. Much later, when I told her it seemed more like they were a married couple and on the outs on one-sidedly, and that he was still trying to fix things rather than two people going through a separation divorce, she agreed with my assessment. Within the first days of talking, she mentioned potentially flying out to see me, which made me very nervous. It was moving too fast. I mostly ignored the idea, though it made me happy she was interested. We would continue to talk and flirt on and off going forward. We spent a lot of time asking about the upcoming debut and giving feedback on her new design and model. The relationship, lies, and gaslighting. On the 08/13/2022, she had flown out to see another fan of hers, Duke Exeter. At Aetheria mod, we ended up talking for a long time while she was at the hotel. Much later, when I asked her in a call if she had any romantic intentions with going to see him, she said, well, he was really nice to me. She then qualified it by saying, but I wouldn't have started something long-term with him because he was leaving the country. The trip did not go particularly well, and she called me to vent about it. We talked all night, and after much flirting and romance talk, she prompted me to ask her to be my girlfriend. I was surprised she wanted to put a label on things given everything going on in her life, but I was happy nonetheless, as I was in love. The next day, after we had already made the commitment, she came clean about being there to visit Duke. I found it odd she had kept it a secret until then, but I thought it came from a desire to not dox the state he lived in, as I knew where she was. In a similar vein, it was not until someone later that she admitted to having been with Sunsetting Zero, which she only did after I told about how he thoroughly denied it. I asked him about it in a public voice call due to hearing rumors about it. Come to find out, Sunsetting Zero had bragged to a friend about them, and that friend had posted it, and continues to do so on 4chan, which is how it became a rumor. While coming clean, she admitted she had a Disney World trip planned with her husband around 09/21/2022. It had planned months in advance as an attempt to repair any problems with the relationship, or so she told me. Too long did it read so far? Give you an idea what's happening here. She's been dating all kinds of guys that were close to her in the Discord, usually moderators, while keeping it a secret from her husband that tried to repair things with her. Classy. Allegedly. Within a couple of days after we had started dating, Vera and I agreed she should come visit me, and she brought tickets to do so. She flew out and stayed with me from 09/0/2022 to 09/07/2022 over Labor Day weekend. Her explanation to her committee was that she was flying out to see a friend, which was only half a lie. She did intend to use one day to see a female friend while here, but it fell through the week before. She changed the reason for her absence to taking a work break. The trip went well and was very romantic. While she was here, I introduced her to my family because she said it would be nice, and she said she wondered if I would offer to introduce her to them. That's certainly like I don't know, trying to set your roots in one place while having them in another as well. I had some severe stress, blood pressure related migraines, which put me on a damper on things, and I ended up needing to be hospitalized over the day she left, sadly. It was a hard time. In the short time we were dating, I had extreme feelings of guilt over keeping a secret from all my friends in the community. Particularly knowing that there were viewers who were openly pursuing her romantically, that were giving her thousands of dollars and spending hundreds on scabs. In response, she guilted me and told me that there was nothing to feel bad about. And that since she was wanting to do streaming full time, she needed these types of fans and this level of secrecy. I knew she was DMing some of them, but she assured me that she had drawn hard boundaries and also wasn't leading them on. She also told me I shouldn't take it out on her if I was jealous that I didn't have that kind of money to give her, which was pure gaslighting, but it worked because I ended up apologizing. God damn it. I would feel bad for the guy, but he got into this knowingly. So I don't feel bad. Let's continue. The breakup and a pattern of abuse of power. She had told me she would eventually tell everyone about our relationship, that she had just needed time. I realized around the time it was all bullshit. I grew to be more and more unhappy with things between us. I started thinking it might be happier if I broke up with despite still being in love with her. The straw that broke the camel's back was when she posted not safe for work art that had been commissioned by one of her fans who had donated thousands to her and was pursuing her romantically. She had been adamant that she had drawn a hard boundary with him on no not safe for work scabs, as she saw little to no distinction between Vera and her. She said she would ban him if he did so. She coordinated with him to post it on her Twitter and did not deny doing so. It's not that things was the biggest deal, but it established a level of untrustworthiness that made me resolute in my desire to end things. The true irony beforehand, this fan had often been the butt of jokes, to the point she made a meme mocking how he spread rumors the two of them were on an item on 4chan. I waited until 10/11/2022 to do so because her debut was on the 10th, and doing it before that felt selfish, as it would take away from something she had been so excited for. Now I know that the trust that our relationship was built on was predicated on lies and false pretenses. She would flirt regularly with fans in her Discord, and she said it was just fun banter, and the pseudo GFE, she had also been flirting with others in DMs unbeknownst to me. One of them has allowed me to discuss his story. Taco Sapien, a fellow Vera fan, one of the people openly pursuing her, had been talking with her privately while we were dating. They exchanged pictures and names and info in almost the exact same fashion she did with me, to the point of sending the exact same selfie to me. Vera pulled him into private calls on 9/17 and 9/18 to flirt and watch a movie together and show off her model, which had not been revealed at that point. Ironically, I did notice her absence from the greenhouse, our DMs, and her excuse was that she was comforting a different friend of ours who was going through some drama with one of her group mates. Leading up to the taco, had donated directly and bought her gifts amounting to more than $3,000. Directly after these interactions, she went on a Disney trip with her husband and was more or less out of contact except for some posts in her Discord. She had said she was there with her sister and mom. Taco attempted to form a relationship with Vera, believing that she would accept due to the flirting and calls and private information. She turned him down using an excuse that she was going through a heartbreak and a separation, and that she shouldn't have flirted and teased him so much without following through. After a bit more time has passed, Vera more or less shut down contact with him, leading to some severe depression and suicidal thoughts on Taco's part because of the whiplash from the contrast between the two extremes. Having accepted the things had changed, he attempted to recoup some of the money by initiating chargeback on the 10th, on the 10/26/2020, and was immediately banned from the greenhouse. Ah, what a shit show! God damn. Now I would have more of a reaction to this, but I already read this in the past, and I've been exposed to so much bullshit from the VTuber quote unquote community that this isn't even new. But yeah, it continued for a little bit more. Leaking talent information in DMs. Vera is deeply unhappy with the state of Aetheria and her relationship with the talents, except for Yoki. Part of the way she would demonstrate her displeasure was regularly sending screenshots of DMs with talents and screenshots of conversations from talent-only server. She would regularly vent about how things were going behind the scenes. She informed me about some deeply personal information she was privy to on several talents. While being upset at Menace in particular, she mentioned where she lives. I have a reason to believe she may have shared information with others. I have plenty of proof of this post. In all the screenshots, it would be incredibly inappropriate as far as proving the veracity of these claims. I have included one redacted message from the talent server and one redacted talent DM that reveals absolutely nothing. I have never shared any of their leaked information with anyone and will not in the future. As I mentioned at the start of this write-up, any of the talents who wish to know more are welcome to reach out to me. Vera also leaked screenshots to me from the old talent server of a discussion between former CyberLive talents that she knew would not want getting out, and we're gonna see that. We're gonna see that discussion too. So you may consider a lot of the leaks that were posted about from CyberLive's former Discord and chatting groups to be from Vera. At least, you know, based on what PressionBot here is saying. In conclusion, I would like to think I have demonstrated a pattern in Vera's behavior, a pattern of abuse of power. The power she had over her fans as a beloved streamer. The power she had as a manager with CyberLive, as a talent with Aetheria. I did not write all this lightly. I was disappointed at how things ended with us while I was moving on. It wasn't until I heard from other people who had been through the same things that I realized how damaging her behavior had been. I really did not want any hatred to be directed on Vera. Please do not do anything hateful. The only reason I have written this is hopefully to prevent more people from falling into this cycle of hers. It's dangerous for her and her fans, for her group mates, for everyone involved. It feels like she is out of control, you have been through something similar and need someone to talk about it with, feel free to reach out to me. Signed, Bob. Here's a Google Doc, which I don't think exists anymore, that has a few screenshots, and I'm gonna be reading a few of those here to show you how Vera behaved. I'm gonna hide you, chat, because these screenshots are the screenshot compilation is in a very small resolution, so I have to finagle this around. And here's them essentially interacting in flirty manners about things. Thank you for the help in Spyro tonight, by the way, and for the chatting afterward. Oh yeah, it's very welcome. Very fun. I so love chatting with you or watching stream. You're a bright spot in a dark world. Also, you should go with whatever artist you think for the scap. You know better than I. A bright spot. That's very sweet and so kind. Thank you. I'll let you know if I found a good artist, and I'll be super cute. It'll be super cute. I'm excited. Sounds good. I'm looking forward to seeing it. We'll be happy to see the concept fleshed out. Good night, sweet Vera. Sleep well. Don't buy any more dresses unless you get sleep first. Haha. I will refrain from buying any more. I've been thinking about this one for a couple of days, and my friend Chris talked me into it. Sleep well and sweet dreams, bot. Have a good night when you go to bed as well. And then here's more screenshots from different times when they were talking. Good. I wouldn't want to miss out on a single thing. Sorry, such a greedy man fell so hard for you. If you're greedy, then so am I. I hardly want to leave you alone for even a moment. I want you all to myself, so I can keep teasing you more. God damn. This is so small. Hold up. You could only see me my single brain cell in that moment. A question she wants to ask, but she's hesitant. And she thinks I would ask if, oh, you're so cute. Ha 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 ha. I didn't want to push the question or anything, but I'm also really happy. I love you. I love you too. God damn, this is hard to fucking read. Again, would feel bad for the guy, but he got into the situation by himself. I'm happy as well. It worked out just the way it was meant to, you know? I guess for some reason I assumed you wouldn't want to put a label on it. I'm convinced myself that it was totally fine. So when I was 99% sure I knew that you were prompting, I was really happy. And my heart was full. I really like labels, actually. Ouch. Ouch, ouch. Also, this is somewhat random, but my name is redacted. You can refer to me as Bot however you like. It's just the southern boy in me feels like I'm super bad manners to be this upfront. In that case, an introduction is over. My name is Redacted. It's nice to re-meet you, Redacted. I think it's nice to be able to exchange names. It's a show of trust in a way. So thank you for entrusting me with it. I'll start calling you by your name. Then if it's alright, and you can feel free to do the same for me if you'd like. But damn, this woman has no scruples. This is something I'm worried about slightly. If you were to ever take an extended break, I think Ivy's or less parasocial, more genuine friend / community, but still worries me to some degree. But I think it's a valid concern, though. To be honest, you did kind of drop off the map somewhat after things went down with CyberLive. I guess because we were with Zero. And everyone was okay. Some folks sort of moved on to different communities, filled the void, but most of them came back. True, it was while I was with Zero, but speaking frankly, it was largely because I got too terrified by everything to stream for a while. So I walked with Duke to this gate first, since he leaves like half an hour to go to Redacted. I have no idea how much I want to stow away on the plane, so I can go to you instead. Ouch! That hurts. That hurts me over the internet cables. And remember how I told you about that particular profile on her virtual YouTuber Wiki? Do you want to know where her profile name leads? Well, it leads to this account, but it also leads to the fact that she retweeted the story that I'm relaying to you right now. I don't know if someone did this for Vera, if someone, just decided to update the wiki and make a false Vera V account, and then just link to this bogus quote-unquote account with her allegedly retweeting the story that I told to you just now. But yeah, this is what happened. Her profile link on the virtual YouTuber wiki now leads to me. This account, and in essence to me, because she retweeted this story. But there's one thing that I haven't screenshotted that I saw in the past. When I posted this, some time has passed. I think it was a few months in 2022. I think in December, I look at my tweet deck and I see a quote retweet from this particular account. That tweet is now deleted, by the way, but you have to believe me because I didn't screenshot it, so you only can take my word for it. This account was quote retweeting this particular tweet, this one here, and it said, "So this is my legacy, I guess." And that's what that was it. That's the story of Vera V. What happened to her? Well, this is the only account that's still left standing. I have no idea where she is, but after all of this shit, I don't know how she can show her face anywhere. Because, there's a lot of people corroborating her, just cheating around with everybody. Funny, isn't it? How one VTuber agency's drama is so multi-layered. It's like a fucking onion. You peel one layer and then there's just another drama underneath. You just keep peeling that onion, there's just drama. Funny shit. But yeah, that's Vera V, and believe it or not, it's not over yet. There's more. There's a bit more to this the CyberLive and Aetheria. But Vera V, very fun story. If you want to think of it as fun. I think it's a little bit tragic and a little bit pathetic, but still kind of funny that these dudes fell for it. Man. But let's move on to Terumi and Terumi's encounter with CyberLive. All of this. Oh, sorry, this is too huge. Let me make that smaller. So the way Terumi is involved in all of this, as I was saying, is that she got kind of scolded by one of CyberLive's talents, as she was in the past doing a stream on black VTuber companies. And as the Vera V story was posted by Prussian Bot on the 28th of October 2022, here comes Terumi with her own account from October 29th, 2022. Regarding CyberLive, Amberglow, and 4chan. And then she also did a stream with Q&A that didn't actually address too much new stuff, other than the fact that what she wrote in the privateer here. So let's read through all of this. Regarding CyberLive, Amberglow, and 4chan. Hey, it's Terumi. Nowadays you hear me often talking about how I'm afraid to interact with anyone else, but when I started, it was just like anybody else. I wanted to make friends and have a fun, happy collaborations despite my social anxiety. I wasn't always cynical and paranoid about other VTubers. Last year, when I left my old agency, which is Amberglow, by the way, My genmates were also struggling and wanted me to talk about their experiences. I even got express permission from Nunki, say that she asked me to do so. You can easily tell there was problems within the company based on how it operated with us basically having to do everything ourselves. Again, she's talking about Amber Glow, so we don't mistake this for CyberLive. From creating our own promo materials to astroturfing on Reddit, if that's not enough, you can check the final Amber Glow collab when I say, I'm glad Bros brought us together. And Shura replies with, that's the only good thing he did. In the days leading up to my stream on Black Companies, Namki, who was in constant contact with CyberLive, this is the important part, started telling me about how the people in that company were scared that I will try to expose the company too, because they apparently get punished whenever a leak regarding the bad stuff inside happens. At this point, I knew nothing about CyberLive and I didn't plan on talking about them at all. But over 4chan, there was a lot of damage control happening for CyberLive, a lot of it from Hilo, by the way. I know a lot of companies astroturf on 4chan, but they were doing it directly in my thread and trying to discredit me before it happens. Hilo apologized to me in Twitter DMs herself when she posted in the Terumi thread, saying that she's not the one badmouthing me, while Lumi simply gave me paragraphs upon paragraphs of praise for CyberLive out of the blue. It was suspicious to say the least. And this is where my theory comes in. I think, again, I think a lot of this is like a defense mechanism for Terumi, out of sheer paranoia of these people just talking shit about her behind her back, and then publicly on 4chan as well. But let's continue. I was assured that by my genmates that we're all on the same boat and we'll stay friends whatever happens. But on the final day, Namki and Malcolm both were begging me to stop the stream. Namki was afraid of possible bad consequences on her career, despite asking for the stream in the first place. She said she would cut off contact if I continued with the stream. It put me in a spot where either my credibility or my friendship with the person I was closest to in my group would be harmed. I really realized that much of the suspicion and doubt she had was because of her contacts from CyberLive. I wanted to find out what was going on. I was losing my friends after all. I made the mistake of sharing the threats I received from Malcolm that were indicative of CyberLive meddling, such as telling me that the talents are going to get punished. Many people agreed that there was something suspicious going on due to the previous leaks from CyberLive rebranded from Unity, as well as their other constant astroturfing on VT. Screenshots from this group were leaked by a VTuber from 4chan, shared in a bad faith, specifically picking out messages from the couple from that could be taken badly, but generally meant nothing. It just so happened that someone from Circle ended up being a CyberLive talent, with a history of continuously leaking screen caps from the private servers. And, just by what we read before, it was probably Veravi that was doing that. I wanted to find out why you were trying to get my genmates to cut me off while would try to get me ostracized from the community at large. Recent events make it obvious that many of the talents in the company have a history of manipulation, harassment, and lying. After the Black Company stream and the leaks, I ended up getting constantly harassed, insulted, and was basically ostracized from most groups and companies. Lots of the rumors and lies were constantly reinforced in both public and private circles, and sometimes I get them directly in my mallows or over DMs. It made me so afraid of other VTubers that I essentially stopped interacting with nearly everyone but my fans. I had no one else to believe in, so I dove in head first, face first into the GFE style content, thinking that I'd be able to retain my fan base. I was barred my feeling out. But I still felt empty. I couldn't do collaborations, I couldn't talk to my friends anymore, and every single week I get at least one piece of hate mail. Being isolated as a VTuber was the worst experience. I wanted to do collaboration calls-ins and variety streams just like everyone. I wanted to be a part of the community, but instead I found myself solely in the comfort of my audience rather than the other way around. I was depressed and wanted to quit multiple times. I had to get constant psychiatric help, amounting to 2 therapists that I met weekly. Even so, I wanted to stay professional and not address the issue so that no more drama would happen. But lately, I've been thinking that it was a bad idea. I messed up, but not explained by not explaining what happened, and now I'd like to fix that mistake and clear my name. I don't expect any of my friends to return, but I hope people can avoid the same things happening to them in the future. If you have any questions, I'll make a Q&A stream to address your concerns. And here's essentially Malcolm threatening Terumi about the Black Company stream. I should give it up already, but I have to say one last thing. If this ruins Nunki's future with Sanderia, I think it should be I don't think she'd be able to forgive you, and I don't think I could. If it does, it doesn't bode any better for any of us. It's entirely on you. And here's Terumi screenshotting him and with saying, "I'm not blaming you for anything, Terumi." And based on these events, moving a little bit into the past, because this privateer was from 2022. But this post is from the 9th of August 2021, where someone gives a short summary of what the Black Company stream actually was. The QRD is: VTuber Terumi Koizumi leaves her company, decides to make a stream calling out Black companies, opens Mallows and asks for people to tell their stories. CyberLive immediately starts running damage control on this website, culminating in Hilo, provably posting that there's nothing at all happening. Keep in mind that CyberLive is already hates Terumi because she vague posted about it. Stream happens and is mostly Terumi recounting her experience with 4V Live and Amberglow. A likely now former friend decides to leak Discord conversation she shared with her trusted friend group. Whether doing this was a horrible thing to do or not is up to you. Conversation suggests that she has dirt on CyberLive from one of the talents. Leaker promised to publish a big document with lots of evidence to smear Terumi 12 hours ago. Never came. A web of deceit, chat. It's a web of relations and backstabbings. Everything's a shit show. And everything's connected. The smallest drama you might have missed happened within those 2 years. And so many people were involved in it. And it was such a fucking mess. God damn. But there's more. Sorry, this one's also very small and screenshotted in a very gay way. Non-original master post and on here. Was in the Discord before it got purged, so here's a better summary for everyone, including more light on CyberLife drama and Teru's manipulation, and I am tired of rats. Teru complained about her gen mates since July, says that they get more attention than her even though she was top idol in Amberglow in ASP court. Teru leaves Amberglow, posts about her Zatsudan. Malcolm and other talents message her telling her not to do it. Teru creates private Discord and invites ASPs, other company talents, and free Amberglow talent Shura, Misaki, and Juan. Teru actively tries to convince her private Discord that CyberLive is trying to harass her, even though her managers tell her that all she has is rumors from 4chan. Posts a screenshot of 5-paragraph DM from CyberLive Lumi, where Lumi gives her exact numbers and details on company that are all positive. And again, this post is why I think that Terumi might have had a Menhera woman moment, possibly. But again, these are all people running defenses in secret sometimes. And it's kind of hard to believe. You know, it's kind of hard to decide who to believe here. But we're going to go through some of these screenshots posted there as well. Sorry. Post screenshots of Hilo DMing her that she's been impersonated and wishes Teru all the best. Teru's new managers tell her to reassure Hilo that it's okay. Teru says she doesn't care. Teru leaks screenshots of her DMs with Malcolm. First Discord leak goes live on 4chan. Nuke's Discord ASP cord is purged. And here's multiple screenshots of Terror talking about this shit. Again, I'm kind of not interested in the Amber Glow stuff, but I'm just gonna kind of show it to you like this without reading it. But I'm gonna read you the Kaneko Lumi DMs part in a moment after I kind of show it to you like that. You can go back to this part of the stream later to view it yourself, because I'm less interested in Terumi's dealings with Amberglow and shit like that, and more interested in the CyberLive aspect of it. They should be visible enough in all of this, so shouldn't be too much of an issue to read this. But yeah, here's some of the parts that deal with CyberLive. Not a threat, an observation of how things are going. I have no power over the situation. The only one taking action is you. As the agent, you're responsible for the result. I didn't say that I would be held responsible for the direct consequences of your actions. The most obnoxious thing you've said today. The one taking action is you, and as the agent, you're responsible for the results. Literally the dumbest thing you said today. CyberLive and Aetheria are not passive creatures. If they take actions, that's on them. You're falling for the same misdirection that CyberLive wants you to. True, but your actions can and will directly affect their decisions in this case. You're not as smart as and righteous as you think you are, Malcolm. And here's, going back up here, here's the DM that Terumi got from Kaneko Lumi in regards to CyberLive. Hey Terumi, I wanted to reach out and give you a positive view of the agency VTubing industry. I know you had a horrible experience, but on the other hand, there's some really nice agencies out there. For example, my manager is being extremely sweet and attentive. She and our CEO do their best to take care of to help us grow. We also own our own assets. We do have a stream certain number of days per week and have a minimum contract length of a few months. But just from what I know about the industry, this is much better than the norm. As for how much company takes, the talents get 75% currently, but you can renegotiate up to taking 90% of the total donations earnings on everything. Plus, we also get a cut of the merch, which is really cool. I've been so lucky to have been able to work with both my manager and gen mates, and honestly I hope the companies are able to pick up in the future to treat their talents better. I'm honestly really glad that she put this call out, because I want people to know there are non-predatory companies out there that do actually have their talents' best interest at heart. It's our company's policy to promote transparency in the VTuber sphere, so please free to ask me any questions if you have them. I'm really glad you put this call out, because I want people to know there are non-predatory companies. Okay, I already read that one. Again, sorry all of this happened to you. I followed you for a long time, and I love your ex-gen mates. All the best for you for your future. And Terumi says, blink twice if you have a gun to your head, Lumi. That's fair. It'd be nice to highlight then. Your CEO. Why are they leaking contract details, your manager? Now, if you wanted to be a bit of a dick, you could just chill for an hour and or two and let them stew for a bit after check marking them. But that's always a fun trick. But yeah, it's been close to an hour already. Because this is a company written letter. So essentially, what made Terumi like. To give you an explanation why this is very weird, is that Terumi kind of became paranoid of, CyberLive by the means of Lumi trying to run defense for CyberLive, like in a very sort of semi-official way in DMs. And this made Terumi paranoid that, apparently black companies are, siding with one another in order to cover for each other. That's was probably Terumi's worry here, and that's why she's kind of very iffy about this whole situation, thinks that Lumi was coerced to say that. Whereas I think that at that point, Lumi was, doing well for herself in the company, and under under Vera V's management later, as when Misaki got fired, things might have been improving for them behind the scenes. Who knows? It could be that, it could be something else. It could be that Terumi was completely right, but it's all up in the air. Who fucking knows, really? The talents involved? No, I'm quite sure they do. But yeah, this is how Terumi was involved in all of this. And that Hilo, again, provably so, was actually running defenses on 4chan, which I'm gonna show you very soon too. And that Lumi was praising the company in DMs, which is, I don't know if that can be considered running defense. I guess it could be. But in those terms, Lumi was just talking to Terumi about, black companies and revealing some information about how things are going at CyberLive at that point. So who knows? Lumi might have been innocent in this, or might have not been. I don't know. But I do know that there's a lot of people out there that do try to paint Lumi as an absolute devil. But very few of them have actually showed any proper evidence of that. But yeah, this is Terumi's story, but there's more. There's a few more to go through. Moving on, the April's Fool's incident, which I mentioned. So, as you guys already know from what we've been reading here, at some point, when Sado Misaki was fired, all the managerial responsibilities was shifted to Vera V, and with the assistance of Lumi. And through that, Lumi managed to, get access to a lot of assets that CyberLive had at that time. And this was in 2022. And skipping way to the 1st April of 2023, when Lumi, as a joke, decided to use some of the previous CyberLive models during one of her streams. And I covered this, and this is my tweet from that time. Lumi Kaneko gets in trouble for using former CyberLive models in the April Fool's stream. Then people reveal the people calling her out had beef with her in the past, talking behind her back in a group Discord chat. This is one of the leaks that apparently, allegedly, Vera V's leaked to people, as was also mentioned by PressionBot, that she was the one responsible for that. And all of this situation becomes a very big shit show, and you'll see in a moment why. Because using somebody else's assets, VTuber assets, as a joke, even on April Fool's Days, is it's kind of, I would say it is kind of bad. Even if it's for a joke, because so these models, I don't know what their contracts were within CyberLive, but I would kind of assume that based on the fact that when both Lumi and Yuri left CyberLive to go to Face Connect, they managed to keep their models and shit. So I can imagine that all of the previous CyberLive talents also had that option. So the fact that Lumi was using their models is a little bit sketch. But again, there's more to this story. Here's me posting these screenshots, and we're going to be reading this as well. Here's Hilo contacting Face Connect about this. Hey, Face Connect, can you please have your talent at Lumi Kaneko delete my models of her PC? Some friends told me she had been using my model on her stream, seeing as me and her not on friendly terms, and there was no attempt to ask permission. I see this as a problem. Here's part of the Discord of that. This is from 2022. Lumi saying, "Okay, ready, let's do this E." And moving up to April 1st, 2023. Here's Hilo messaging here. "Hey Lumi, I know it's been a while, so I'm sorry this is the first time I reach out, and it's about something like this, but 2 people DM'd me linking your stream with a timestamp showing that you used my model on your stream without asking me. And although I'm all up for jokes and stuff, I really wish you would have just asked before using it. I'd like to request that you delete the files of your computer, please, and do not do it again. Thank you." So yeah, it's it kind of sucks, doesn't it? Yeah. And here's people responding to Hilo about this on Twitter. He's Chibidoki. Seems kind of mean of them to do. Much love, Hilo. Thank you for the love, Chibi. I love you so much. Wow, I hope they can do something about that, given that it's not even her model. I wish you luck, Hilo. Thank you, Hanako, of course. And Face Connect actually officially responded to this. "Thanks for bringing this to our attention. We'll sort it out. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it." And Inamioki, which was also a CyberLive talent, part of Generation 2, also added Face Connect about this. "Hi Face Connect, sorry to bother as well, but in the same stream, Lumi Kaneko also used my model. I didn't know she had the files, nor did I consent to having my model used on the stream. Please have her delete my model files. Thank you very much in advance." And Face Connect also responded to this one. "We are aware and will do. Thank you very much. Have an amazing day." But when it comes to Yoki, there was, you know, a little bit more of a sketch here. Because there was some indication that she might have been in on the joke and wasn't that upset in reality. Because some guy screenshotted her being in Lumi's chat and saying this. "Weren't you in the chat saying how nice it was to see the model?" And here's what she says. "It's been a while since I've seen my old model used. Oh my god. Anyways, hi Lumi." And Yoki responds with this. "Hi, nowhere in the message they say I was happy. I wanted to take opportunity to tell her not to use it, but she didn't see my initial or other message. Doesn't make it okay for her to use anyways without her asking prior permission. Hope this clears it up. Nowhere in the message they say I was happy. Happy emoji? I always type detailed emojis when I'm mad at someone for something. I 100% believe you are being completely genuine and not at all using the fact that the situation is blowing up as a way to farm clout. You're profoundly disingenuous, so some people say. How is this not happy? You are disingenuous either way. Either you are lying now or you clearly faked what your message conveyed. So, you know, might be autism, I don't know what it is, but it's very hard to interpret this message as anything but a positive. Unless it's like super sarcastic and people are just reading it wrong. But to me, it reads like something that's very positive. Out of curiosity, how did Face Connect talent get your model in the first place? I get what you're coming from, but I really like to know why she had streamer models in the first place. CyberLive, previous agency, now out of business. Thank you, friend. And Omiya Emma also chimed in this one. Hello, Face Connect. It is sadly for me to know that Lumi Kaneko does the same thing to me, and I did not give consent at all to any to have my model. I wish these things never happen again, and please have her delete my model files. How is she getting access to so many files? She used to be the manager agency that those VTubers, including herself, were in, as I already explained. And Emma continued with this. Hey everyone, thank you for all your concern. I know you guys love your Oshi, so I get you want to defend her by bringing up the past. You all already know to talk about this and came to an understanding. All I ask is for the talent to delete my model from her computer. And please do not send hate towards her. Thank you for your understanding and let's chill. And Face Connect responds, Hi Emma, thank you for bringing this to our attention. We have taken actions to ensure this doesn't happen again. Thank you. And here someone points out a very suspicious conversation that a lot of CyberLive talents had about Lumi. That apparently was later leaked by Vera V. And this is also something I will briefly explain after I read all of this to you, to give context of how I am involved in all of this. Considering that you, Omiya Emma, and more people who are complaining were also the ones behind the Discord server used to shit talk about Lumi and Yuri behind their backs, I wouldn't be surprised if you still hold grudge against them. Here's the infamous screenshot of them shit talking Lumi. So you can see it better. Hold up. Utano Pandora, I was originally higher subs and she got aggressive and used high-low. Omiyama, seriously, try not to think too much about Lumi anymore, for your own sake. Kurohana Inori, if you know that one, why do you keep talking to her, trying to make amends? Just let it be. Omiyama, I literally forgot about Lumi's existence. And here's Menace, Alchemelia Menace, another CyberLife talent, Generation 2. True, she won't be nice no matter what, man. Lumi wants pity, so she will constantly pull that card. Omiyama, just focus on yourself, Pan. Menace, ignore her. Utana Pandora, yeah, it's weird, and even after everything, I still want to part ways on just civil terms. Vera, someone's donated 1k to Lumi. Menace says Seishiro. Oh, we fucking get to Seishiro. Seishiro is another character that we're going to be talking about towards the end of the stream. Vera, melting emoji face. Menace, melancholic. It's actually him. No, I'm not joking. Vera, that's ridiculous. Menace, he does it anonymously, so people won't know. Kurhana Inori, I wonder if he's the one who donated 2k to her when she returned from break before. Is she messaging him thank you? Messaging my thank you? Menace, most likely. That fake sniffle after. And again, you have to see that the dates here kind of jump all over the place. Because here there's March 24th, 2022. And then there's March 31st, 2022. There's a cutoff in here between these two dates, and here's another one. Again in on the 31st of March 2022. Kurohana Inori, she saw the way Lumi used Hilo in the same way, and Yuri even used to shit. Talked Lumi and made a whole server with us to do so. Like Yuri knew the type of person Lumi was. Menace, I wonder how they sleep at night doing so. Vera, looking down emoji face. Kurohana Inori. And on the other hand, and at the end of the day, she chose to stick by her and become best friends, quote unquote. I don't know, just don't feel bad for Yuri. She's not even worth the pity. None of them are. Vera, that's fair. Yoki, yeah, exactly. I feel like nothing for them. I feel nothing for them at this point. I could care less. Vera, this is honestly like the second-hand embarrassment I feel is palpable. Rohana Inori, she always talks about how she grew up poor and yet always says she took oddness of her instrument lessons, figure skated, stealed with her family. Bruv, what a hell. A clown emoji. I don't know how to people watch her and don't see these grooming jokes or catch the subtle lies. Vera, they see it, they just don't think it's fine. Rolling eyes emoji. Menace, they don't care because she's based and pandist 4chan. I left their discords. Kurhana Inori, I believe. Should I kick her from the cyber altar? Vera, I'm gonna stick around to be nosy as hell. Detective emoji. Kurhana Inori, LMAO. So, pretty cool talks they had there. What you think, chat? That doesn't paint a very friendly picture of anyone. It's just very bad. I don't even know what to say about this because this is just kind of tragic. There's a lot here to parse because everyone is just mean. Everyone is just mean and backstabbing. It's just not very nice. I don't know what to tell you, chat. You have to take this as it is. And do consider that, you know, a lot of them are still streaming in some ways. They're in other companies or independent still. But that's the fucking April's Fool's incident. But before we move on to show you how Hilo like uses, you know, various means to defend CyberLive on 4chan, I'm gonna take a very small break because I need to have a drink because my throat is parched. And then we continue throughout the rest of the arcs, and as we have just a few left to go through. So you guys get yourself a drink. I'll do the same. I'll catch up with you in a moment, and we'll just have a very short intermission. So I'll be right back. You guys keep on hanging there. Compartmentalize all of this information because I know this is confusing and there's a lot of things to just take in. But yeah, intermission time. You guys just go on, get a drink, whatever. Go to the toilet, throw up if you have to. I'll be right back. Got my drink. We're ready to move through more of this because there's still more. Unfortunately, there's still more. And it kind of gets worse in some aspects, if you can believe that. But yeah, got my drink. Let me take a sip, and then we continue. I promise to give you a little bit of context of within that April's Fool stuff, because this is when around the time where I noticed that a lot of these former CyberLive talents at that point had me blocked on Twitter, which is again, I hold no ill will to any of them for blocking me for that one, because just me covering it in any way might be construed as taking sides. So a lot of them had me blocked for that one, which again, I don't find too surprising. People have me blocked for all kinds of reasons, especially on Twitter. So that's the context there I want to bring in for myself on this one. But let's move on to something else, because there's just still a little bit more. A little bit more. So the next thing we're going to be talking about here is showing how Hilo used 4chan as a defense, as a place to defend CyberLive at the time. And this is very brief, but also very easy to understand. Hold up. So here's a post on 4chan. This particular tweet is from August 6, 2023. And the post was also around the same time. Here's someone essentially shit-talking Lumi on 4chan. 4chan's VT. Lumi would go into DMs of each of CyberLive girls and encourage them to beat their peers. She talked shit about Yuri, Pandora, and Sena to Hilo in the early days, then she talked Hilo to Yuri. Then she leaked a private Discord where talents expressed their grievances with the company lying to them and stealing fans' money, and got everyone in trouble. She sucked the dick of Misaki while Misaki treated everyone terribly. She shit-talked the Generation 2 to Misaki, traded secrets about the talents, orchestrated Hilo's termination that didn't go through because Hilo chose to graduate instead. Shit-talked Sweet Sena for no reason. No. As we go through this, Sena doesn't turn out to be that sweet as described by this post. Became a manager and instantly started pushing for her new outfit while being on calls with Misaki, who gave Lumi her full attention, and both of them ghosting the other talents. She maintained a doxer mode, who she shared private info of the other talents with. She doxed Hilo here, and Misaki caught the blame for it. Lumi shit-talked talents on the CyberLive thread and admitted doing so to the members she was manipulating. She threw everyone, even Misaki, under the bus when Face Connect reached out to her twice asking to poach her. First being through Pippa, second time being through Sakana. She convinced Yuri to tag along with her and ditch the company when she knew leaving would bring an end to the company, because management literally told her what was at stake. Everyone begged them in a group chat not to do it, and then they dropped the graduation announcement on Twitter without discussing it with management or the talents. Lumi calls Chapipi a saint, but Chapipi hates her just as much as everyone else from CyberLive does. But Lumi clings to her non-involvement in the Discord leak as some sort of proof that she's not a bad person. And Hilo responds to this post by saying, "Personally, I've never wanted to be too public with what happened in the CyberLife, because frankly, I've never been anyone's business besides us talents. But both me and my friends have dealt with non-stop harassment over the last 2 years due to untrue facts and stories spread. This is basically exactly what happened. I couldn't have said it better myself, Anon. Please stop harassing us." And in response to that, Hilo also releases this. Just some DMs from my own experience to back up the claim. Honestly, though, Lumi is a very hardworking person with lots of love and drive for what she does, and I'll never deny that. Just unfortunately, we're caught in a crossfire between a really shit company, her and her dreams. Glad to close the book, but fully now and then completely move on. And Lumi says this: just one thing, and Pandora getting COVID would look like nothing. Brownie face, I need you to beat Dora for my own. I just have more experience, you'll get there. I'm proud of how far you've come. You can beat Yuri. Yeah, every time I see Dora's had a hard life, I'm like a lot of question marks. And, you know, a lot of these are, you know, snippets of conversations. So who knows what the rest of it was. But Hilo seems to, you know, say that everything said in this 4chan post is real. But, you know, a lot of it is construed in a way that, you know, blames Lumi for everything. But even Hilo acknowledges that the work environment within the company wasn't very stellar. But admitting that the fact that Anon here put this very well, you know, just kind of begs the question how true a lot of this is. But, you know, this is all interpersonal relations that the girls had with one another. And their feelings towards one another could be very different at this point, because this was, you know, at this point, almost a year ago. So who knows? All we know is here that, you know, Hilo posted these particular screenshots of Lumi saying to beat others with numbers and stuff like that. I assume. And then that was it. And Hilo has been more than likely using 4chan for a very long time to defend CyberLive's good name at that time. And, you know, one of the instances and the other instance that I showed you where she confirms that she was posting on there with the tacos and stuff is just another one of them. And I'm sure there are more that weren't as documented as this one. But yeah. That's how Hilo was involved in all of this. And moving on, we have to talk about Momozora Seina, the one that was called Sweet in that 4chan post a moment ago. Because she had her own drama that kind of came and went without many people noticing. Even, I don't think many people on 4chan's BT even knew about this, and sometimes when that was brought up, I think it was cleaned up by janitors over there, which is suspect in its own way. But yeah, what you're about to see here doesn't paint a very good picture of Seina either. Gucci the mod says this: trigger warning and content warning. Threats of suicide, cheating, and emotional manipulation. I am unable to suffer in silence any further. This is from December 12th, 2023. Trigger warning, content warning, threats of suicide, cheating, emotional manipulation. Opening statement and preface. I generally did not think I'd ever be someone who would be forced to write a document, tweet longer, call out post about another person. For those that do not know me, reading this doc out of curiosity, I do my best to stay in my own lane. I get that people may categorize this as just another VTuber drama, but please understand that I'm about to share with you something I wish stayed private, but it came at a painful expense of my soul, and even now as I write this. I do not wish for it to be this way. I would not be doing this unless I was being pushed to the brink to do so. There have been multiple attempts to solve this privately in an amicable manner, but has gotten to the point where keeping it private only gives her what she wants out of me while continuously putting me in the mental/emotional harm. She has already admitted to me that she intends to continue pursuing me unless I take legal action. Aside from money, because this wouldn't be a domestic dispute, the process will become tedious and strenuous, only further adding to my suffering. Who knows what she will do during the waiting process. The intention of this document is to bring awareness of Seina's manipulative and harmful behavior against me while also hoping to cease her attempts in anchoring me any further. I hope this doc can push her to seek professional help. None of this is okay. There were other people involved in this situation, but out of respect for their privacy, they will be referred to as John and Jane. While evidence will obviously be provided, I will not be providing all of it due to sensitive information involved. You will see what needs to be seen. Also, she has deleted some of her accounts and messages that I could have used for evidence. I want to thank everyone that's been by my side through all of this shitstorm and for giving me the confidence to release this doc. I have not been able to fully process things to heal for the past 3 months. Hope that this can change things. I generally was okay with suffering privately about this because I don't want to bother anyone with it. It's been brought to my attention how fucked up things have been. I wouldn't wish this upon my enemies. A lot of tweet longers and Google Docs can be that dramatic, but this gets worse. Sorry, taking another sip. Context. Seina and I were exclusively seeing each other, dating, whatever the fuck you want to call it. On September 10th, John messaged me asking if he could call. During this call, which I have recorded, John has confessed to me that he and Seina had engaged in sexual activities together and he was unaware that we were seeing each other until she had told him about me. During this month, John was also in a relationship with Jane, but the relationship state was unclear at that specific time. I was good friends with John and Jane was close friends with Seina. My initial thought process was that there was a miscommunication on my end with Seina about the relationship. God damn, my voice is dying. Just give me a second. Okay, I think that's a bit better. My initial thought process was that there was a miscommunication on my end and with Seina about the rational exclusivity because there had not been discussed. Which is why, during my confrontation with her, also recorded, I asked her if she thought we were exclusive, in which she confirmed that we were. After dropping the fact that I knew what she did with John, it unraveled into a torrent of emotions. Her supposed reasoning for cheating on me was that she was unsure if her feelings were were authentically romantic, so she tried to doing some stuff with John to see if she felt the same way. After the confrontation, I blocked her for a few days to give myself some space. I should have kept her blocked had I known what shitstorm came afterwards. During the blocked period, a fact became clear to me. She had meant to hide this from me, see image 1, to this voids the probability of her actions being a mistake, even though cheating is never a mistake. Image 1, Seina talking to John. Why did you do that? I understand if it were genuinely awful to you. Had we talked it out, we would have kept it to yourself then. If I talked to you, would you even ever tell anyone? I don't understand your reasoning and your crass. It seems to me you were hurt and chose to run it through me. For what? Actually, I don't respond at all. I have no right to be mad over something I did wrong. It was all my fault. It's a lot of menhera in a very pill-sized format. Continued. What followed for the next 3 months were most emotionally and mentally distressing 3 months I've ever experienced. For the rest of the month of September, after I had unblocked her, once again my mistake, we went back and forth within her desperate attempts and apologizing, trying to get me back. She sent me a bunch of voice messages and wanted love bombing in various emotional states and drunken state, while recounting our happy memories in hopes of convincing me to get back with her. During the entirety of this, my own feelings and thoughts were barely considered. She only really talked about herself and asked how I felt about her. Let's take a look at those. You've said a little enough. Nothing you can do now will change anything, so don't bother wasting your energy with it. I don't want it to be this way. Please, it's all that I have. If you leave me now, you're never going to feel anything for me ever again. I want to fix everything. I want to be with you. Move on from me. Do you feel any love for me back? I don't want to date or be with anyone else. Please accept my heart. It's all I ask. Please give me a chance to make it right. I beg you, Dana. I'm going to force myself to sleep because I feel like I do something I might regret, and it scares me. Do you love me? I do not love or hate you. I feel empty at the moment. I feel empty. I can't live my life without you. You should have thought about that before you fucked up. Do you still have feelings for me? At least a little bit. Why do you say it's not like you don't want to try with me, but is that you can't? There it is again. Me this, me that. It's always about you. I'm sorry. God damn. Side note. I am so fucking aware that I should have never even attempted to talk to her after all this, but I cannot begin to describe how weak, exhausted, and defeated I was that I actually fell for some of her tricks. And here's a lot of voice calls that were not part of this document. We can't play those. Are you drinking right now? Why? I'm a little bit, but it doesn't really matter, IG. And there's plenty of those that she sent him. At the same time, when all of this was happening, I begged John to fight on a separate front in which he asks me to communicate with Jane to lighten the the wrath that she brings upon him. A super condensed summary. Looking back at it now, the audacity that he had asked me to help with him after all that happened had gotten to the point where my best friend had to intervene to remind him that I was the victim in all of this. Okay, back to the main timeline. This is where it gets concerning. September 24th. This is the first time Sena explicitly uses suicide as a leverage to get me to continue. Talking to her, she talked about the thought of drowning herself in this lake in the cold before. Tomorrow I'm going to that lake. I can't do this anymore. There's the stairs going down to the lake, I assume. I did go. I am here. I feel empty. I don't know what to do with myself anymore. There's a ledge bridge overlooking the lake. I went by myself. I'm calling suicidal prevention right now. This isn't okay, and I hope you know that. I don't care about anything anymore. Leave me be. Needless to say, it worked for her. I'm not mentally or emotionally okay to handle this anymore, especially with the suicide baiting. That's just fucked up. It's not baiting. I'm just scared to do anything. I'm sorry for everything. I just want you to talk to me. I'll be better. You're so cold to me now and so mean. Like you want nothing to do with me anymore. It just hurts and makes me feel empty. Call me right now. If I get better, can you promise we'll continue talking as friends? Holy mother of Menhera. That's a real fucking meltdown if I ever seen one. And I've talked to suicidal people before, chat. I've talked down some people from suicides, and I know how this looks. But holding your life over someone's head just because you want to talk with them, and you know, having them be responsible for your potential demise, that's one of the shittiest things you can do to any person. Terrible, terrible fucking behavior. In an effort to avoid her actually killing herself, I had the intention of slowly working towards maintaining a neutral, amicable status with her. Spoiler alert, massive mistake. However, after saying this to her, I would have to go on and repeatedly saying that I would like to have my own space first. While I wanted to work towards neutral terms, she saw this as a glimmer of hope that we would potentially get back together. She continued to make relentless efforts to try to talk to me, even had I ignored her or prevented ways she could contact me. A lot of her efforts were also under the influence of alcohol. Images from October 8th. Eventually, I would like to work towards talking again, but not right now. I just need some space. I'd appreciate if you don't drink text me. I didn't mean when I said wanted space. Drunk texting me isn't giving me space. I'm being lenient with you right now. With you in that right now. Okay, I understand. Thank you. I'll see how I feel after TwitchCon. Side note 2. It also became increasingly more difficult trying to talk reason with her because any attempt at me showing a shred of humanity or decency to her was interpreted as a chance to get back together. Why do you say my nickname when I've hurt you so much? I want to be your friend and be there for you at the very least. No, you're trying to gaslight me right now. LMA, okay, bye. I'm not entertaining this anymore. October 8th was the last time we had been in contact with each other for a while because I had told her I needed a space and would try to talk with her. I came back from TwitchCon on October 28th. She had messaged me on Twitter to LMAK that she had sent me a message online. I've realized that the right way to handle this is for us to no longer keep contact. I think it's not an exaggeration when I say that I've only done every day think about you and my regrets. My feelings are still there, somewhere, but at the same time I've long forgotten what it felt like. You shouldn't have dealt with my feelings, I won't let it happen. Talking is not good for either of us, more importantly, it's not good for you. I'm not running away, I don't want to, I just want you to be happy. I don't know what you mean exactly when you said you'd eventually want to work towards talking again. But maybe this decision is for the best. Even though I hate it, at the end of the day, let's do what feels best for you. I'd understand. Then we'll just end it here. The stuff I said, I don't want to do that. I want to keep talking to you. You're the only thing that makes me happy. I'm sorry. I said that stuff because I wanted the reason to talk to you. I didn't know what else to say. Please, Dana. I know you're just finding a reason to talk to me, and that in itself is not healthy. I can't keep doing things like this. I shouldn't have even be talking with you. Even though she claims to have either found closure or means to move on from the situation, or lose feelings for me in one message or another, in the end it was just a farce so that she could talk to me with her. This made me realize how disingenuous she was about allowing me to heal from the relationship or give me adequate space for myself, when in reality, it had been selfish, desperate attempts to still cling on to me. After that, I had blocked her from Twitter, Discord, and Line. The next day, on October 29th, a friend DM'd me asking about the status posted on Seina's account. It has since been deleted, which was supposedly made by her brother stating that she had been hospitalized. I cannot confirm whether she went to hospital at all. If her brother actually posted or the reason for her trip to the hospital. It was not until a few days later, when I was going through my emails, that I noticed that she sent me an audio clip right before she got hospitalized. It was her suicide note to me. This is it. With one attachment of a audio file. On November 18th, I went to check on my mailbox and received a letter from her. The stamp indicated was sent on November 6th, which aligned with when she would have gotten out of the hospital if she had gone. The letter was filled with manipulative nonsense like, if you read this far, maybe you still want to reconcile with me. And her boasting about being egotistical and obsessive with me. However, the more concerning thing written in the letter was her refusal to leave me alone until I threatened legal action. Honestly, I'm considering it. And here's part of the letter. Oh. Jesus Christ. I would say the gift that keeps on giving, but this is like the German definition of gift, which is poison. Funny how these two words have completely different meanings in both languages. But yeah, this is gift as in poison. You should talk, at least try. I'm probably not going to stop until you literally say, redacted, don't talk to me ever again, or else I'm going to call the cops on you and sue you, or some scary shit. But I don't know, you hate me. Guess what, though? I am mentally unstable. Uh-huh. This is a fucking dog sticker. on the right side. This girl is fucking insane if you haven't already noticed it. I am mentally unstable. Dog sticker on the right side. No comment beyond that. I didn't reply to this letter whatsoever. Finally, on December 7th, she sent me another email, another suicide note. Forgive me, Dana, for causing you heartache and pain. I thought that killing myself would have been for the best, but I don't think killing myself can change anything. I cry almost every day about what I could have done differently. I'm sorry I didn't treat you right. I didn't say I liked you or that I loved you for a reason. I just didn't feel it. I couldn't say it back. There was no butterflies, and I felt immensely insecure about your own experience. I'm not asking for anything back, but because I know it's impossible now. All I know that is whether I am alive or not does not matter to you. So I'm going to kill myself now. I'm sorry for all the wrong I've done. Maybe once I'm dead, you might forgive me. She had deleted her Discord account and privated her Twitter, and a friend of mine had messaged her on December 9th, and she reported, indicating she was still alive at that time. As of writing this document, I have no idea whether she's alive or not. She's alive. She's fine, relatively speaking, depending on how you want to interpret fine. Personal sentiments. I tried my best to keep the contextual document as factual as possible. I'll be using this final segment to open up my thoughts about all of this. Put simply, I'm absolutely exhausted and I'm tired of being hurt. I'm tired of having to heal from things that weren't my fault. I'm tired of feeling pathetic and allowing myself to give shit about any of this. I'm tired of the life someone I used to care about being leveraged over me. This document was incredibly difficult and painful to write. I had been adamant on trying to resolve this privately because I hate bringing negativity onto the timeline, but it's gotten to the point where I can no longer endure any of this. I know I shouldn't have to apologize, but I'm sorry that it came to the point where I have to air out my digital laundry like this because I've been suffocating for the past 3 months. I, in any mental, emotional, professional capacity, am not equipped to deal with any of this. I cannot begin to explain how soul-crashing it is to force yourself to stop loving someone. I don't wish this even upon my enemies. And it feels like I'm starting to heal or move on. Something happens and drags me back into square one. I regret how I chose to handle some aspects of this. I wish that I had simply blocked her from the start and never interacted with her again, but hindsight is 2020. I'm sure even now there is things I can do better, but it feels like I've been driven into a corner, so this is all I can think of. I was stupid to neglect my own well-being for the interest of peace with mutual friend groups and her not killing herself. I genuinely hope she did not take her own life. I am not worth dying over, but at the same time, I also know that means that every day I live with the dread and anxiety, wondering when or what she will try to do to me next. To say that, it is super important that you read and understand this. I have already forgiven you, but that does not mean I want you back or have you any part of my life again. I am unable to heal or move on from any of this until I am able to find peace. Peace I need to do so. I am forgiving you not because you deserve it, but because I deserve to live a better life ahead of me. I pray you find help, professional help. Everything that has happened is all so fucked up. I do not deserve any of the shit you've put me through. Please just leave me alone. I really do not want to get legal services involved. Happy end? No. Because it's not the end of this. Because she responded with her own thing on December 30th. Public statement. Trigger warning. Suicide. A few months ago, Gucci released a Google Doc detailing his experience about problems we had. It contained real, raw feelings and suicidal thoughts I had during those 3 months. This should have been 100% kept between the two of us in private. There are points that are untrue or not mentioned as well. If it's just your first time hearing about me, I have prefaced that that if I sound cold, it's because I want to keep my statement as factual and cut dry as possible. Any issues involving safety and privacy should have been dealt with with the appropriate authorities, not showcased on the internet. This is not drama. I like when people say shit like that, you know, redefining what drama is. Drama is by definition dramatic. It's a set of circumstances that are very intense. There's a lot of emotions involved in them. And you just stating that something is not drama does not automatically not make it dramatic. So whatever is dramatic can be construed as drama. So that's not a defense that stands in any point by me. This involves real people and genuine feelings, compiling screenshots of private messages, photos, and recordings at a person's lowest, and then releasing it to the internet shows a person's priorities. Girl, you're the one that put him through this. He felt pushed against the wall. He felt he had no other choice but to do this. So you can at least, you know, be shamed into possibly leaving him alone, and so that other people know that you're cray cray. To put this out on Twitter of all places, claiming it not to be drama and then paint it with the same exact narrative is insane. There's no other merit to having this public except for his own benefit. Wow. Wow, as the SP says. Context: I had been lied to, used, and ghosted by a friend I met in the VTubing community. Gucci was part of Alt F4 that ultimately decided to remove said person. After this, even Gucci and I talked more and more. Issue 1, we were not dating. Gucci was the first person to say he had feelings, and I had expressed wanting to date and be official. He told me he wouldn't pressure me and to take my time. I was honest and said I wasn't sure about my feelings. At one point, I rejected him. Although I was not particularly attracted to him, these issues did not appear last minute, they were always there. Those reasons, we never made it official. Well, what he showed there from your conversations kinda show a different picture. Sena and I were exclusively seeing each other, dating, whatever the fuck you want to call it. My initial thought process was there was miscommunication on my end with Sena and rational exclusivity because that had not been discussed, which is why during my, and quoting what he said, Gucci contradicts himself by saying we were exclusive, but then subsequently said our exclusivity has not been discussed. It's true, we did not resolve or talk about being exclusive until that day. Issue number 2, sexual activities. I have not met or slept with either Gucci or quote-unquote John. I have never slept with anyone in general. I was in voice call with John. A voice call in which I abruptly left midway. I did not like being with another person at all. I said I wanted to stop, dropped the call, and told him not to contact me again. John was upset. Instead, we should not continue to talk and call like before. But I set strict boundary, did not respond until later in image number 1. Image number 1, my wording is a bit weird. I was questioning John's own dubious morality and hypothetical question. He wanted to continue calling and talk to me. Would he have kept it to himself had we kept contact? But the minute I say no, John tells Gucci. What was his motive? I was not upset that John told Gucci. I was upset that it was immature or petty act to get back from me rejecting the idea of keeping contact because they were hurt. Or they were plainly just upset. But this is my only speculation. In short, I believe it was disingenuous. Me and Gucci did not have an agreed upon boundary or acknowledgement of a relationship between the two of us during this written or verbally. But I should have made an effort to let Gucci know I had an ultimatum to decide if I wanted to sell with Gucci or break things off and see other people. Well, that's your own fault then. So I don't know what else you can say about that, but you're construing this as something that it isn't. It just feels like a very manipulative way of going around the issue. That, you know, things weren't made as clear as they were supposed to be. Boundaries weren't set, but then the way she talks to him is already breaking boundaries that weren't even set in the first place. Like, you know, he just wouldn't unload all of this on a singular person at the time. Because it just comes off as fucking unhinged and just insane. Additional issues, miscommunication. There are phrases and words that we both didn't agree with this. It's me. Again, she's trying to catch him on like formalities within wordings. Example, claiming I was boasting about my mental stability when I was actually trying to be lighthearted in a messed up situation. Oh, I'm just a little bit crazy. That's what she said in the letter. Gucci is not the only one who I expressed my suicidal thoughts to. In general, it was messed up of me to worry my friends as well. I received no prior warning before the release of the document. Well, why would you? He outright said that you're crazy and he doesn't want to have anything to do with you. He's releasing it for his own benefit because you're unreasonable and he wasn't able to talk sense into you. That's messed up. From my part, I went overboard to a dangerous fault, and there is nothing I can blame but myself. However, I believe it is not condone private information, photos, or messages to be released online. It hurts to see someone who you trusted show your weakest moments as if it was an expose. This is not drama. Instead, these personal issues should have been dealt with the proper medical care and authorities. Yes, for you, not for anybody else. You're harassing him constantly. What? He was backed into a fucking corner. It was unacceptable to express my feelings on suicide to Gucci, but it's just messed up to publish it online. It is not okay. Had no knowledge of their feelings and burden until this moment. It was my mistake. What? I had no knowledge of their feelings and burden until this moment? He outright told you. Like, he showed those DMs where he tells you that he cannot handle it. What the fuck are you talking about? That's just lying at this point. We're just excluding information that he already has given. You know what, chat? Never date anybody online. It's just made up. It's just gonna end up like this. Possibly. Potentially. I had no knowledge of their feelings and burden until this moment. It was my mistake to believe Gucci cared for me as a person. Wow. That is unfucking grateful. The guy outright says that, you know, he wishes best for you, even though you're crazy. And he just wanted to be left alone, and he talks about how, you know, he wanted to prevent you from fucking dying. Because, you know, having your potential significant other dying on you is kind of traumatic, don't you fucking think? Wow, this woman. Do I still have my reaction image? I do.
This woman.
There. Once more.
This woman.
Holy fuck. There is no message I would like to relate to Gucci at this time. Thank you to my friends, family, and mods for helping me through my lowest moments, for getting me the help and support needed. Holy. Yeah, this broad needs psychiatric help. She's not only manipulative, she's a fucking narcissist at this point as well. And she also included this for whatever reason, this 13. Also known as Kinoshita Yasen. I had known 13 roughly 2 years before my debut. A year ago, October 2022, I had become friends with benefits. My condition was our exclusivity. And I promised to let each other know if he'd like to break things off. I told him that I trusted him so many times. March 18th, when he ghosted me without a word, the handling and the ratio of private information photos had not been discussed. I had not received a response until April 3rd. I learned from his friends that he was seeing and sleeping with someone else, and irrational behavior from myself can be attributed to my frustration with his lies and behavior. So hold on. They've been friends with benefits, and you know, as we all know, that's kind of a, you know, a relationship that requires a little bit of trust, but it's, you know, meeting up for sex. Usually kind of exclusively. for that and then just be on friendly terms. So why are you upset that he's meeting somebody else for the same thing? You're just fucking jealous here. Is that it? The fuck are you talking about? Again, I'm sorry, but hold on.
This woman.
Holy shit. This event greatly upset me and his other members from Alt F4. 13 was ultimately removed from the group and faced repercussions from specific convention management from where Gucci was in. I had no control over the consequences of his own actions. Oh my god. Did you include this? But this wasn't over because let's move to current year. As you know, she's reminiscing what happened to her with Gucci on April 28th. Last year, Gucci the mod released public document partially doxing and revealing personal information. I've been staying at the hospital for reasons I would like to remain private. This man has bullied, scoffed, and lied about wanting to be amicable. We had only known each other for 3 months. I had foolishly believed he cared about me as a person, but there was only interested in dating anyone. I'm not the only VTuber he has done this to. Well, where's your evidence on that one? Maybe you should post it. But since that time, she hasn't. I'm still not mentally or emotionally sound to make an appearance anytime soon. But I won't be afraid to speak about my problems. Legal assistance will handle future updates. And, you know, people didn't handle this very well and called her out on it. On May 1st, here's one VTuber. You speak as if you did nothing wrong. I don't know about anyone else, but I personally know you're pestering people that I personally know and am friends with. Tried to get into contact with him when all he wanted to be left alone. Also, she also used other means to get to him. Well, that's just stalker behavior at this point. And that was before the document. You didn't even have to tell me anything because I know personally how actually delusional you are with the lengths you were going to trying to contact him. That document was not doxing, it was not slander, it was the truth. You're embarrassing yourself trying to make it seem as if it was anything but the truth. You could have quietly came back without any issues and went about yourself perfectly fine with whatever activities you had planned, but you just couldn't help yourself, could you? You want to try and make sure you had some people on your side that's trying to salvage your reputation. You're actually delusional. Stay in your lane and keep your name out of his mouth. Leave him alone. And another one. So when do we get the topic of discussion where you went so as far as to harass this man by sending him a physical note to his actual home address and ignoring his multiple requests to leave him alone? Legal ain't gonna like seeing your fingerprints. And yeah. That's the story of
This woman.
in general. So I have nothing else to add to this. We have other things to go through. Just don't do it, chat. Don't date VTubers, I guess, online. Especially when they start showing signs of this kind of behavior, because this was insane. Absolutely fucking insane. And the fact that this, you know, dodged everyone's attention for such a long time, that's the scary part about it. I have no idea how CyberLive got their hands on such people, and again, this is just storm in a teacup of insanity within one VTuber agency. Crazy shit. But this stream is not yet over, chat. We still have a few more things to go through. But this was Momozora Seina for you. What a story, Mark. One for the ages. Now we get to the most recent one with Omiya Emma and her own story with particular mods and viewers. You'll notice similar beats to what was in Vera V's story and what was in Seina's story as well. And that's 3 VTubers already with similar issues. Holy fuck. This is part of the first chat leak though, but before we get into that one, there's a document by a Twitter user called Jester NBDYKNG on Twitter. I don't want to post anything from this account, but whatever. Hashtag Omiya Emma. Please excuse the grain of screenshots. The grain on the screenshots. The screenshots that aren't DMs between Emma and I are there to provide context and validate screenshots that aren't able to be read. 1 out of 5. Let's get this story on the road. Hello everyone. If any of you do not know who I am, I used to be Sunsetting Zero, or just Sunset. No, the guy with fucking Veravi. Holy fuck. What are these people doing? In the CyberLive, Aetheria, whatever, is now a community for the past 4 years. To the detriment of my mental health, that community was my life during that period of time. After a series of unfortunate happenings, I ended up becoming the manager of Omiya Emma for the better part of the year. That person is why I am back, briefly. I am dumping this info and then I'm gone again. I want nothing to do with anyone involved in this wretched community ever again after this. It's been nothing but poison for my soul and rot for my brain. I deeply encourage anyone involved with VTubing to cut your losses and run. At the very least, limit to watching funny girls do funny things for short periods of time. I'm not here to make a speech or anything. I'm here to dispel a few lines and fuck off. Originally, I had much more than this. I had a whole folder of screenshots that I was going to dump, but in a moment of misguided mercy, I deleted everything. I thought it would be a good thing to avoid letting everyone know what happened to me, because I would involve breaking my promise to reveal an important secret that I swore I would never give away. However, doing this has caused me my mental and physical health to spiral to a dangerous degree. I battled with depression almost this entire year and almost won a couple of times. I've been under so much stress lately that my immune system weakened and I got sick 3 separate times over the course of May. I'm hoping that by getting this off my chest, I finally be able to start healing. I post what I have left, most of which comes from my DMs with Taco Sapien. So let's start. I did not quit. I was fired. This is not to say I didn't try to quit before this. When I got the job last year that prevented me from being awake during Emma's streaming hours, I attempted to quit only after Emma to beg me to stay. I tried to quit because I didn't feel like I was pulling my weight, and once I couldn't moderate streams anymore, so she told me that I didn't need to do anything except continue to take care of the server. Which I did, and was essentially the scapegoat she used to slander me when she fired me later that year. I found out that she only kept me around because she was into me in a romantic sense, which I have screenshots for. Now, anyone who sees this and doesn't know what kind of person she is would probably think I'd hit the jackpot or something. Her personality aside, this wouldn't be the case because Emma is married. That's the secret I kept my entire career. After all of this, I couldn't care less who knows. Emma told everyone she fired me because she was uncomfortable with the amount of people I banned from their Discord, which should be ridiculous on its face, considering how few people I'd been banned to begin with, and out of the ones she got a problem with me banning. One was a known pedophile, another was a toxic groomer. More were known trolls from a server dedicated to grooming VTubers. I'm just speechless at this point. How deep this shit goes. It's kind of laughable. Raise your hands and give up. And the remaining accounts were carried over from the ban list in the Aetheria server at the creation of the server. In other words, she was looking for a reason to fire me to cover up the actual reason. This also made clear people she used in the same reason to firing me 3 months later, in which time I banned exactly 0 people. She, however, constantly had me look for reasons to ban people she didn't like. Domo, Magic Killer, etc., solely because she didn't like them. I wonder if that's the domo that's known from being rejected by Fubuki. Was that what it was? Because I would ban Domo too, because he's annoying. He's an annoying factor. But that's besides the point. That being said, I should return to the main plot, to the main point. Emma being married was especially sore point for me because she knew what happened to me with Vera. I resolved myself to never pursue a married woman ever again. But here's another one. Even if she told me that she was in the process of divorcing like Vera said she was. Wow. And she knew this. I went out of my way to let her know that I only thought of her as a friend. However, when I told her that I grew to have a crush on our mutual friend, Yoki, she grew viciously envious and immediately tried to make me fall for her instead. She went so far as to send me in real life pictures of her in tight workout clothes showing off her ass. She seemed to be surprised when I said I wouldn't save those pictures, and when I told her please don't try to make me lust after a married woman's body, she responded with, I think it's okay for you to lust after my body from a year ago. It didn't stop there. She was constantly complaining about her husband to me, whether it was about how he finishes too quickly or that he doesn't want to have sex with her as often as she wants. She even told me that if she weren't married to her husband and if I were Muslim, she would be with me instead. I'm an Orthodox Christian. When she realized that I would never want her, she began shit-talking me for months behind my back to Duke and Yoki, and probably Trevor too. That's why I wasn't in her return art, by the way. She was very good at that during my time with her. She would talk shit about all her friends constantly, yet always pretend that they were best buddies in public. This was another reason I wanted to quit. I could tell something was off with her because she was constantly making demands of me that were extremely important to her now that she never had a problem with before. For some reason, she was obsessed with the idea that I needed to be hanging out in her server every day, at least more than I was active in Yoki's server. Despite Emma being completely inactive in the server herself, she wanted me to message her and hang out with her more. Despite her never replying to my messages for weeks at most times. She constantly joked about Trevor replacing me as her manager. Guess what happened with that? Because she was convinced that you had to have a crush on your VTuber to be her manager. This led me to correctly pointing out that a few things she said were possessive and emotionally manipulative. She immediately twisted my words and said I was calling her possessive and emotionally manipulative woman, and no matter how many times I tried to explain to her that was not what happened, she would do it again. I gave her the benefit of the doubt because I didn't want to believe she was histrionic. But turned out to be the case. After this argument happened, I threatened to quit again. But she begged me to stay a second time. From that point on until I got fired, she was constantly gaslighting me and emotionally manipulating me into feeling like shit, pointing out that she was being emotionally manipulative, as is normal with histrionics. I addressed all of the previous demands that she made me and did every single one of them, in addition to working a full-time job and going to college full-time. But it still wasn't enough for her and she fired me anyway, using the excuse that she was uncomfortable with the amount of bans that I made. Again, I cannot stress enough just how little I ever actually banned anyone. I even fully wrote her doujin for her, which was never credited on me on. I practically had to beg her to let me write my own goodbye to the community, which she barely agreed to, and even then I covered for her. All of that could have excused, but the second I wrote that goodbye, she showed her true colors. She immediately re-added and started gushing over a disruptive narcissist who she knew I spent half a year trying to ban. Only as she letting me ban him when he hinted that he wanted to send her a picture of his in real life dick. Wow. I need a sip. She also personally reacted and tried to mod Rivisen, another groomer who personally helped hide evidence of Vera grooming multiple people in her community, along with her spilling personal information on multiple other VTubers out of spite. Emma did this specifically because she knew we hate each other. She's still on good terms with him to this day, as far as I know. He's still active in her Discord server and paying member to her channel. After she did this, I left her server and she proceeded to go through and erase evidence of me ever being there, including my goodbye post. She always had a positive attitude of groomers. They even suggested to me that add back Rivisen and Claro as mods. While I was working with her, saying that because they did a lot of work, she could look for past their grooming behavior. I told her that I would quit immediately if she did, and she dropped the topic. After I left the server, we had a very intense fight, which Yoki was there for. We both said horrible things to each other, and I'm not excusing anything I said. We both aired our frustration. We were carried out for months at that point. Either way, after I lost everything, what made it worse is Emma scheduled a members-only stream after that fight for exactly what she knew that'd be a church, so I couldn't listen, then deleted the archive immediately after the stream ended. I knew it was about me because it was just titled Talk, but to this day I had no idea what was actually discussed in the stream. And that's it. The rest I'll post the screenshots, but the gist of it, what happened to me and Omiya Emma, I'm sure this warning will fall on deaf ears, but if you're involved with Emma, I implore you to run. The only thing she cares about is money and attention. The only thing she was concerned about during my time with her was herself and bleeding her fans dry. This is why she lets you get away with anything as long as you give her money. This is why she's okay with groomers, because as long as they throw money at her, she doesn't care what they do. This is why she partnered with Yoki, because she got jealous of her numbers and wanted to leech her of her ASMR fans. And she got popular doing that. Everyone is just a tool for her. Once you outlive your use, you're thrown away like garbage. If it happened to me, it will happen to you. What a fucking story. And his screenshot's very blurry, by the way. So you have to forgive me because they would deliver it in such a way. So here's Emma talking to Sunset in multiple instances. I take it as a yes. If you can have feelings for Yuki, you have feelings to me too. Oh yeah, I forgot to ask you. Why do you have feelings to Yoki? Again, sorry, these are very small. So, what do I have to do with this, Emma? Do I tell no one? Do I bury this deep down and never bring it up again? I can help you to burn it down with Yoki. Please don't get me to destroy my relationship with one of my closest friends. I can't go back to being alone all the time. Emma-sama. Wait, is this part where you try to get me to cling to you instead? So greedy. Like, nah, I'm just blackmailing you. Yeah. Man, I love this sticker so much. She did that thing where she said something in a joking tone, but she was being 100% serious. She does that a lot. Yeah, this was not a funny joke, especially considering that's literally exactly what she did. Also, what the fuck? She was married by this point. She knew exactly what happened with you and Vera. Why the fuck would it be okay for her to want you when it wasn't okay when Vera was doing all that shit? Going after a married woman never ends well, and this is literally what she wanted out of you. What the fuck? She was married for at least a year by this point. Absolutely, Haram is right, considering she's a Muslim. Reading this is what this with that in mind. Yes, exactly this. Again, sorry, these are incredibly blurry. I'll try to read them by zooming in as much as I can. Emma, this is why I want to change manager with Trevor. Oh my god, how about this? Sunset. No. I can't read that. Sorry, I can't read that. I get you with I get you be with Yoki, but you have to be Yoki's manager. I could drive to her place, but I haven't. No, absolutely not. That's not me. Let's not meet up, you shit. I know you. Yoki looks like either she showed me her pic so many times. Bro, you literally have feelings for her. Do you think you have... God damn, this is so fucking small and blurry. And I'm putting my fucking face into the screen. Do you think you have... I can't read this. This is too fucking blurry. But this is... I think he's asking her if he has to be her manager for him to have feelings for her. You get to be with her forever. I don't want to have a manager who have feelings to my friends. I couldn't focus, bro. Is what she says. Managers focus if they like other girls. This is crystal fucking clear. This is unhinged. And there's more screenshots. This bitch is married and she doesn't know what a normal human relationship looks like. This is dangerous. That explains a lot. How can you care about her? Always in her server, worried about her. Oh my god, I knew it. I fucking knew it. And then he responds with her own fucking cringing fucking emote from the server. And I can't read those on the right one. I'm not even gonna attempt. Look at how she mocked me in the first message. She's fucking livid with jealousy, bro. Second mention of this within the same convo. Man, I wonder if you would have feelings to me if I'm single. Knowing she had a crush on me makes me understand that this might as well could have been hurt less if it were a pimp slap. There's that fucking face again. Imagine being mocked with your own fucking VTuber emoji. That's something. Here's her admitting she wasn't joking about replacing me with Trevor back in November. Yoki gaslit me into thinking she was always joking about that. In working environment, my manager fell in love with my friend and he started to neglect his work. There's that emoji once more. Just spend time with my friend, bro. I don't want to experience that again. That's why I keep jokingly around about changing manager. No, she's definitely joking. I know, cause we talk about that too. She actually felt that way, not about Trevor being her manager in the future. Here's her doubling back hard after I make it very clear I'm not interested in her, and this is again super small again. Fuck me. Okay, I can't read that one. Sorry, chat. It's this guy's fault for delivering these screenshots in such a fashion. This one I might be able to read. Or not. I don't know. Let's try. Let's give it the college try. Yep, that's what I feel. Holy fucking shit, that happened right afterward. Can I read this? Let's try to zoom in again. God damn, if you want to go after someone, at least deliver screenshots properly. Yep, that's what I feel. Holy fucking shit, this happened right afterward. Yeah, I don't like to suggest this is to my friend, but that's for the best. I would usually support to try and confess, even though sometimes it hurts and hurts and disgusting. But bury the feelings to the grave would be the best choice. Oh my god, I know how to help you. Okay, imagine I'm Yoki. I'm gonna change my dip and everything at the moment. Kill yourself, test. A slit, okay. Mason. Okay, say something first. You ran away, how dare you? Come back, fuck you. Do you have any idea how much of a heart attack I just got when I saw that alert on my phone and it was Yoki's profile picture? Okay, I will help you. Pretend that I am Yoki and I will confess. No! I'm a fucking moron. She really said confess to me instead. Look how hard she's pressing it. Trust me, it works. Sometimes. That one I can treat. Why do you want me to suffer so badly? If you don't confess, I will tell Yoki. You're a fucking demon. Tell me everything that you wanted to tell to Yoki. Okay, I'm gonna be Yoki. Yo, what's up? You wanna tell me something? That cringe emoji. I hate this shit. Hate this. Genuinely hate this. And there's more screenshots. Oh, since she nuked this, he's also a gamer she never forgave me for. I no matter how much I zoom into this one, I won't be able to read this. Sorry, chat. Oh, for the last one, the reason I was gaslighting was because this is what she sent me directly before I responded to this message. Basically, okay, then I quit. Bye. Which prompted her to call me about 15 times in a row and start pity begging me to answer. You know what? Since I saw you avoiding this message and active on Yoki's Discord, real question: do you want to become a major next year and mods? I want to force you to become one if you don't want to. And here's those calls. Here's something that's actually too big. You want me to hang out with Coomers while you're away? Yes, give it a chance. Bro, what the fuck? Who asks that? You want me to hang out with Coomers while you're away? Yes, give it a chance. Hang out with the Coomer crowd. That event was on 10/29/2023, so it's still possible Emma was referring to this one specifically one time, one of the many times you were vibing with people when Yoki was not around. Not because things, not a bad thing to do either. I can see where Emma's jealousy probably comes from. Here's the thing though, Emma is literally never in her server. Yoki hangs out in voice call all the time. I have never once seen Emma in voice call when she isn't doing a watch along, or that one time she streamed in a game in voice call because Prism didn't give her perms to stream on YouTube. She never asked me to hang out with her in her own voice call either. So yeah, she wanted me to hang out with people that she doesn't care about, or she could get her satisfaction of knowing I was hanging out in her server more than Yoki's. That's possessive and jealous as fuck. It makes no sense. Uh, 5 out of 5. Hilarious. The last picture has nothing to do with this topic, but still think it's hilarious. For the record, what I put her through was accusing her actions of being possessive and emotionally manipulative. There was no yelling or anything out of the sort. It was through text, and I lived on the opposite end of the world from her. Bro, I'm crying. I was actually so paranoid that if you're going to hit me or something. Like, jumping to conclusion that I sound possessive or manipulative or something. I'm so sorry I put you through that. I promise that won't ever happen again. Fire me if it does. It was traumatizing. Sorry for feeling that. Sad Pepe. Please don't apologize. It was my fault. You didn't do anything wrong. How the fuck are you supposed to hit someone on the opposite side of the planet? I guess that was used to showcase her fear, but like... It was to make me feel bad for something that I didn't do and she made up in her head. In other words, emotional manipulation. I was actually surprised if you're going to hit me or something. How is that not guilt-tripping, knowing that I'm not even capable of doing that? Jumping to conclusion that I sound possessive and manipulative or something. This argument happened months before the screenshot, and I apologized for it multiple times. She's bringing up old shit to make me feel bad for calling out her manipulative behavior. Theoretically, they showed this to Vera, then patted her on the back and said, "You're my Bologna clown." Meat clown. Is that your opening line to women? You're my Bologna clown. Bologna clown. True story. too. She cried about it later that week. Fucking baloney clown. Too long, didn't read. Married Muslim VTuber with histrionic personality disorder gets ass mad when the manager doesn't want her to have her cheat on her husband, so she slanders him and ruins his life. You know, given some missing context and stuff like that, and given the fact that, you know, different interpretations of things, it could be that the guy is just reading into it a little bit too much, but what the fuck do I know? All of these people are fucking weird. Hard to tell who's telling the truth in this one. With Emma, it just kind of looks like she's joking around, but, you know, this guy's fucking record of, and the details. There's a lot of details to this story, so, you know, that would give me the idea that he might be telling the truth about this. Who knows? All of these people are genuinely very weird to me. So who knows where the grains of truth lie within this one. It just looks fucking ridiculous to me. On both fucking ends. Everything's fucking crazy. But yeah, that was Emma, but we still have a few things to go through. Just a few things. We're almost at the end. You suffered well for this, as did I. You know that thing where Lumi is being accused of the devil? Well, the same Sunset guy had things to say about Lumi too. At some point. Here they are. Poor non-existent management, Lumi and Yuri left for PC without warning right when CEO was choosing between closing CyberLive and keeping it going. Again, this is the same guy that we just read the account from. Shit like this keeps happening because the company was filled with literal demons. Lumi, Vera, Misaki, Emma, Riv, and a few other girls were angels though. Nice to know my intuition, Lumi was correct, says Jeannie Mercury. Oh yeah, I can't overstate just how terrifying the woman is. She stabbed every single bag she could to get where she is now. Whatever Emma is, Lumi is that 10 times more. Joey / Mara was like mini Lumi. And here's another account that says shit about Lumi. If any of the old CyberLive mods rear their heads calling Lumi a terrible person, it's likely because they're a failed groomer who she kicked to the curb. They've been doing this song and dance for almost 3 years now, and they always talk about big game, but they never post proof. Ad hominem is always so tiring. A good friend of mine has always made a good point not to touch the poo. Why get involved with something that is bound to collapse? I do appreciate that Lumi kept me as a chat VIP and kept my emote for so long, despite me leaving almost 2 years ago. Do you really not comprehend how hypocritical you sound, saying why get involved when you're still literally out there vague posting about nearly 3 years old drama and still not posting proof to back it up? You guys just look silly when you do this. You seem kind of bothered by the vague posting. Making posts that can be so easily dismissed means it's not worth the effort of taking those posts seriously. Lumi still has yet to delete her DMs with me, and it seems I am one of the people she has yet to wipe DMs with. If you're one of the only people with DMs as proof, then who exactly are you waiting to post to it for you? Own up to the accusations you made and post the evidence you have. You kept talking about having proof. The only thing you really seem to have have are excuses. Nobody will ever post me as nobody else's screenshots of the DMs between Lumi and I. I am content with where I stand currently. So you're content continuing to accuse Lumi of being a bad person while also refusing to post proof you've been talking about for the past few hours. Wasting energy, and that numerous people have claimed have for years. Do I understand correctly? Very true, I will still not leak DMs. Well, boy, wasn't this big waste of energy. I look forward to you guys vague posting about how Lumi is the devil in a few months. Either here or in the other places saying you don't want to get involved with, continuing on to come up with excuses to not post evidence. I'm so excited. But there's one more thing. Remember that Seishiro, whatever his name was, which was a former CyberLive mod? Well, his hobby was doxing VTubers to the point that they quit. And guess what, chat? He actually admits to that within DMs of some other fucking guy. So here's a VT post explaining who Seishiro or Sei is. It's not exactly WVT. If you want to know, it's Sei, one of Lumi old mod who turned out to be a complete schizo, spamming threads with gore and extreme porn for months in WVT, while same friending all day long, harassing many VTubers. Also doxed a JP tuber to retirement. It also seems he was collecting a dox on many VTubers around. He was sacked quickly after being found out. So now he's in the wild and doing that kind of stuff, and seems to be taunting with his dogs of Kiki recently. He may be trying to stir shit up too, so stay aware of it. And here's that Imgur with conversations with him. This is him in gray. I also doxed Rebel, find myself even more confused by him. Ever since he finally got banned by Tired Squid, he's doubled his schizo posting pace. Pickle Rick? Heck, yeah, that guy. I don't really get what his problem is. Honestly, I'm not certain either. Extreme autism? He has videos where he speaks like a normal person narrating a game, as he plays it to a degree that you would expect from someone who is skilled at streaming. I would call him an unironic groomer, but I can see it in his words. And mind you, a lot of these screenshots are from different periods in time, so be aware of that too. I've managed to trigger one of the Anya posters into quitting. Which one? He liked to write paragraphs about shit, and he tried to gatekeep me from thread early on. I don't care where their names are, but I will drive them from the thread any way I can. Essentially a shame tactic. The goal is to get less people to interact with you for fear of having a bad reputation. With my semi-rampant Miko posting in the back office and front desk, I've managed to awaken 2 other Miko posters from slumber, and we derail the thread from time to time. I like to time it for when a stupid topic shows up on when Reinhardt shows up. He gets 0 attention when I'm active, LMAO. Last thread in Fresh WVT had people speculating who the fuck I was. I kinda cringe, but I doubt they'll piece it together. Also, the Aspies have performed a near-complete retreat to their Discord. They nearly never post anymore. Monkey only posts during horny posting hours. I wonder when you too will become a true, but Kek, I have no time for that. I'd rather stir shit up threads on 4chan and 5chan. Or 4chan. Oh, god damn it. My brain is having a fart. I need a sip. I'm reading too much retarded shit, chat. It's getting to me. But damn, it doesn't matter how many makeup posts I make, they are still fighting over top secret discords. Mercy, these threads lately have been garbage. Not that I'm defending discords or anything, I just find it tedious. Might have to bring back Ayame posting, I just need to expand my catalog of images for it first. And just a little bit of context, because I believe it's needed. Back a few years ago, on 4chan's VT and also in a small amount on WVT, or rather in trash. WVT is was like a general on VT, but on the trash board. there's like Miko schizo posters, Ayama schizo posters referencing, whole life VTubers that essentially were posting rats about said VTubers, just for the fun of it in order to derail threads with inane and insane shit. So he's essentially the guy admitting to doing that. Keck, I actually went with horsecock spam. Might do Riona when the horsecock folder empties. Someone trying to counteract it with vanilla shit, LMAO, just adding more fuel. Is this guy a fucking child? Get someone posting vanilla big dicks and I'm now doing Riona. Impressive night for spamming. What a fucking schizo. I want to make the front desk better. Merge the good people from the back to the front and do renaissance of sorts. I've got back desk crying over me. Another new fag have changed the trash threads from being comfy, crying about how everyone hates Anya posters and shit. Tell me one reason why I shouldn't just spam the back office with furry porn. Actually, so many supposed Riona friends. Maybe I should spam Riona. Would make it more unsettling for them. I'll even false flag beforehand in the name of gatekeeping. I wonder how many days it would take to kill the back thread. Horror schizo only lasted a week. Well, I've trialed the image spam. Here's my conclusion. People definitely lose interest in posting during image spam. There are a number of people who actually like my image spam or pretend to anyway. And instead of fighting over Discords, they fight over whether I'm breaking the rules in trash. Today was largely uneventful, not a bad thing from time to time. And then you wonder why, people don't go to VT for information and why it's so hard to verify information about, anything from the fucking board because of people like this fucking guy. What a fucking degenerate this guy is. I've been getting banned by the retarded trash mod lately, so I can't spam much anymore. Looks like the viewer lists aren't good either, going by that person's ban. More clever shit posting it is. Also, the Aspies have performed near complete retreat to their Discord. They nearly never post anymore. The monkey only posts during horny posting hours. I'm going to ritual post late night with I'm going forward in the back office, thinking about spamming gore. I just want you to know a bit how the back alley has been lately. I know you don't care, but I find it fascinating how much influence I can exert. I acted as a split schizo for a bit with the help of Lurksing, Lin Cannon. We managed to split the thread into two. One of the viewers, one of the tubas. That split didn't last long. But that didn't matter. The whole time the split was happening, I aggressively posted as though I were three people. And Rebel surprisingly helped out a bit. We managed to convince the tubers to slow down heavily on the self-posting and the ERP is virtually gone. Another viewer is now dead. The one who previously known as Tanya Annan. His death was by the end of the ERP shit and served as a wake-up call for him. Lapin posts are nearly gone. Shania, however, is reincarnated. Shania, by the way, is not an idiot that just shit posts on VT. Sometimes on Twitter. He's absolutely fucking retarded. Turns out Crimbo's clique and Odette, and of course, are supporting his reincarnation. Me and what I presume to be two Lapin fan schizos are likely to gatekeep. Personally, I spam Animal Girl if he ever shows up again. And if any of this sounds confusing to you or just fucking insane, you're not insane. This is a little schizo fucking in front of you. Talking about, his fucking gay ops on fucking 4chan boards about VTubers. Because he has nothing else to fucking do. Elon Maya got back office to turn into Paul for 1.5 threads, just by inviting the bleached and black threads into the trash WVT threads. Never fails to amuse me. Wonder who else you dug up info on. everyone I've ever known had an interest in anything interesting. Doxing is really interesting or worth it. Is really interesting or worth it. I only do it to prevent myself from supporting something strange. Doxed a JP into retirement before. That was the most interesting, I suppose. What a piece of shit. She's clever enough to separate account names for sites. Doxed a girl on VT before that way. Who is Dox Gura, by the way? Is it Shimada or was that just some rat? I hear that the spreadsheet holders exist, but I see nothing to support it in the back office. You're likely unaware, but ASP Court is on meltdown. One of them, Voivre, raised a fuss about how someone in the Discord is antagonizing people while leaking who's in the server. She was banned from the server and after the argument. Now someone from the server is slandering her, and other SPs are thinking about leaving the server. Maybe wondering what happened to the guy. I don't know if he's still around, but considering how he behaves, he probably is. I do know that his Twitter is suspended now, so that's the end to his story. I don't want to fucking know what else he does, but considering, the impression you get about him from this alone, you want to keep him away from fucking anything, as far away as fucking possible. And you know what, chat? To end it all, I'm quite sure there's a lot more to this. If I was anywhere close to the fucking CyberLive Discord at any point, I probably know a lot more than I do. But considering the amount of fucking dramatics CyberLive and later on Aetheria was involved with, I wouldn't be surprised if there was so much fucking more that I just don't know about or just didn't notice. To me, you just got the fucking gist of it. And I don't know what else I can say about it other than, fuck schizo posters. Fuck them in every single orifice, because they're at fault at that. And all of this backstabbing and manipulation, like, what was it worth? I mean, you do have to consider that a lot of these VTubers that I talked about are still fucking alive. And by alive, I mean they're active on other VTuber personas. And again, I'm not going to talk about who they are. A lot of you probably already know. There's no point to talking about that. And they had their own small personal dramas. Usually, a lot of them not being their fault, especially with some that I covered on my own Twitter. But yeah. This is a story of 2 years that extend into 40 years somehow. How does that happen? I don't know. People hold a lot of grudges, as you can clearly tell. And whenever someone from CyberLive in any capacity does well for themselves, I'm sure there's more of that stuff gonna be coming out. So prepare yourself, because I'm quite sure this isn't over just yet, and someone's just gonna open up another can of worms eventually, and then I'm gonna talk about it. I don't know if on a stream, but again, this was a little bit too much schizo for me, and it's the last stream before I leave for Anime Expo and actually enjoy myself in some capacity. Gonna be around a lot of VTuber stuff there, and just gonna be posting that on Twitter for you guys to see. It's gonna be fun times. I want to see how the Lucky Bird booth does, very close to the Niji Sanji one. But yeah, this was enlightening, I guess, to a lot of you. And if you want to seek out more information, you can always do it on your own. And again, do consider that a lot of things here are unclear. Personal relationships between people are fickle ones. So a lot of them may have made up. It's very possible that the people, that were after Lumi at some point in time aren't anymore, because, They may have changed their mind, or maybe they have evaluated the situation a little bit more. There's some clarifications to a lot of this stuff around, so it's probably best, you know, not to invent your own fucking interpretations of it too much, because it is what it is, and for a lot of people out there, it belongs to history. Make up your own interpretations if you want to, but be aware that, you know, a lot of people that were involved in this in the past do not want to be involved anymore. Because it's simply not worth it. These people want to, you know, continue on with their own VTubing careers. They don't want to be involved in any of that. Because it's simply not worth for them to engage in any of this. The people you may consider to be bad people may have been misconstrued, or maybe you know, misinterpreted. That's always a possibility, but you know, given the amount of accounts on about things like that, it's it becomes more believable the more information someone includes in their statements, you know. Because it's hard to make up a story this complex with so many lies that later try to explain them to people. Oh, I got a super chat to read. Lekos, thank you for the 2. Somewhat related. What is up with Menace lately? That's something you'll have to find out on your own. That's not something I'll be mentioning here. You'll have to figure this one out on your own. If it ever becomes relevant, I'll be talking about it. So for right now, I don't want to keep you in the dark or anything. It's just a little bit unrelated to everything that's happening here, but you will learn eventually if it becomes more relevant than it is now. Because I don't want to talk about things that you know, are only tangentially unrelated, and you know, potentially start issues with people that are uninvolved in all of this. But as someone is already explaining to you here, there are a lot of people that are you know, got new identities returning to their previous identities. So it may involve, you know, people making comebacks because they aren't doing very well in their new identities, so they're going back to the old ones instead. But for everyone's sake, it's probably better to move on, unless you're some kind of weird sex predator, or you know, or actually insane. Insane to the point where other people need to be warned about you. That kind of thing. Other than that, it's just a lot of petty interpersonal drama and relationship drama, as you can see from this. But that enough, along with bad management in companies and, you know, mismanaged priorities on everything, these lead to VTubing fucking agencies just collapsing on themselves. Be aware of that. That interpersonal drama can also ruin a VTuber agency if it goes, you know, out of rails. But you know, for right now, that's everything I have for you. I have to spend the next few days getting ready for my trip, because that's a pretty long trip, and it's an expensive one too. And I need a lot of equipment to take with me. I mean, it's nothing, you know, too professional. It's just you know, some accessories that is gonna help with taking some photos of it, taking maybe a few videos here and there. It's just, you know, to cover this in the best way possible for myself and for others, because people will be interested in how the VTuber booths and maybe some panels, maybe additional merch booths as well here and there in the vendor halls are shaping up, and I'm very interested in showcasing that to people as I'm there, because it's, you know, going for myself, for business purposes, not related to VTubers, but by the way, but something else. That's one thing. The other thing is just showing someone a venue they cannot attend as freely as I can. I can bypass most of the lines because what I do for my job allows me to have an industry pass, and I can essentially go through all of these lines unopposed. I can avoid most of the crowds and just go freely from place to place. And that makes Anime Expo bearable, because otherwise I wouldn't want to go there. I don't want to sit in a line or wake up at like 4 a.m. to go there to actually, save myself a spot in a line that's already being formed. Because that's how these lines work, and each Anime Expo each year is bigger and bigger, so this year there might be even more people. But yeah, these are my plans for myself. So the next stream, I don't know what it's gonna be. Probably when I return. But I'm not only going to Anime Expo, I'm also planning to go to Otakon, possibly. I don't know if that's gonna pan out, but I hope it does. So I'll be gone for at least a month. I don't know how the streaming is gonna go at that time. I will have my laptop with me, but streaming from my laptop is a fucking pain in the ass. So who knows what I'm gonna do? I at least am gonna be active on Twitter in some capacity. So there's gonna be some posts here and there. So you guys won't miss much, hopefully. But yeah, for right now, that's everything I have for you. My brain is rotted, and I need to put my head under the sink and pour some ice cold water on it. So you guys be good. Behave yourself. Don't go on Twitter unless you have to, or go look for porn instead on Twitter, because that's the best place for it still. Otherwise, just avoid it like the plague. And have a good day, good evening, good morning, wherever you find yourself in the world. I'll play you off with something good, hopefully. I have a few songs lined up, but you guys, you guys take care, and bye bye. This was painful for everybody.